Well, hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome back. Can't believe it's been 2 weeks since we've done a live. Let's get some hellos in here real quick. Gizmo was the first one in here. Good evening to you, Gizmo. Easy. Luis, how are you? Long time no talk. Sweet Savory Words, good evening. And the
best name on the internet, Half Bubble Off Plum. Good evening from Florida.
Yep. What else we got here? Let me see here. Easy's in the house. Looks like Gizmo's making some purchases for his off-grid home. What is that not showing like it's supposed to?
Maybe you have
there you go. I want to actually talk a little bit about being off-grid tonight. Half Bubble Off Plum wants to know if we were productive today. Were you productive today?
Yeah, I think so. I had to think about today. What was today?
We're still getting back, and we're still trying to get, kind of caught up on everything from me being gone.
We had a crazy rainstorm that just passed through here, so.
Yeah. Hey, Big Kid, good evening. Drummondson Live, good evening. The Terminator is here.
Good evening.
Yep. RN, Denise, how are you? Denise, how are you? Mandy Garrett.
RN.
Yes.
I got a message from RN, and I don't remember where I saw that.
Let me see here. Juby Joe. LJC, how are you, my friend? We missed you too. Beth Emily, good evening. Jane, good evening. And Indiana Mike, ahoy back.
Ahoy.
Richard Hakes, hey, and American Roots Farms here. I'm going to talk about you guys tonight too. And Dave and Sonia from Michigan. I met Dave and Sonia up at the Anyone Can Farm experience, and I'm going to talk a lot about today. I got a video coming out at some point to talk a little bit about my experiences up there, but I'll kind of talk about them tonight a little bit too. MJ from Wisconsin, good evening to you. Chris White, good evening. You driving tonight? Chuck Peoples, good evening to you. Let me see, Miley, oh my goodness. Can Squatch, Dusty Country Road. I like that name. Leather Homestead, good evening to you. Good to see you. And of course, Skane's Grill, Rain Country. Hey, what's up? Yeah, let me see. Looks like I made it in time. Everything is good, other than it's just been a zoo, right? Can Squatch says some trees and power poles down. Yeah, I talked to my son, who ironically is in the insurance business, and he said there's lots of claims coming in. We had tornadoes, not in our county, but in some counties over, and there were some big winds. We didn't get much of it, but we got a lot of rain, but that was about it. Tringo, good evening. Yep. Chris White says, yep, driving down the road. All right, cool. Well, let's get rolling, huh? Hippocrates, good evening to you as well. Let me see, just got off the live with Grumpy and others. Boy, they were talking smack about you. Just kidding. Oh, it wouldn't bother me a bit.
Is that Hippocrates?
Yeah, Hippocrates says he's going to try to be an un-instigator tonight. Hey, Marcia, what is going on? Yeah, from the Blast Furnace. I was joking with Marcia with American Roots with Jess and Joe earlier this week, and I sent him a message that said I was going to ask him how the weather was, but I decided that I wouldn't. M. Hope I said M. All right. Well, guys, I have been gone for a little while, and there's been a lot that's kind of gone on, kind of across the homestead. And hello, Eagle Lover. I don't want to miss you.
Hello, Eagle Lover.
Eagle Lover will be cranky if I do. So there's been a lot that's been going on at the homestead. Let's talk about homestead first, and then we'll get into all the crazy other stuff.
All the non-homestead.
Yeah.
All the
non-homestead stuff. So why don't you talk about your garden real quick?
The
Let's start
outside
there.
world. Oh.
Have you been productive
yes,
today?
So y'all saw the ripple effect. And the garden, I did get the corn. I got the corn weed eated. The corn rose weed eated. And there's tassels on the corn. Surprise! I'm going to actually get a cob.
Mm-hmm. Might.
One or two.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't grown corn in several years. So
mm-hmm. What?
I'm trying to think. Like, there's so much. So the beans have been consumed by something.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Beans have gotten their butts kicked.
The beans.
Your tobacco's doing amazing.
I was actually able to harvest tobacco seeds, and
tell them why you grow tobacco.
For the Buffalo Seed Company.
Yeah. So explain how that process works for those who don't know.
Okay. So the Buffalo Seed Company is a seed company in Kansas City. And we got some seeds from them. We get seeds from them we grow them and then we sell seeds back to them.
Mhm.
So they're their seeds that we are growing in our area with minimal inputs. And then we sell the seeds back to Buffalo Seed Company so that you all could possibly be growing seeds that we grew here on our
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
The tobacco, there's over 100 tobacco plants, and I did get seeds from them already. And there is a lot more coming on. There were quite a few larva worms of some kind, all different kinds, green ones, brown ones, yellow ones. And so I just took my little nippers and
Talk a little bit about, you said that you grow the seeds with limited input. What's that mean? Explain the rules of growing seeds for the Buffalo Seed Company, because there's a whole bunch of rules you gotta follow.
In order to make the seeds hardy and adapt to our region, we don't use water irrigation. We use just basically we use what comes from the sky. I watered them once when I planted them, and then I haven't watered them since. I haven't watered anything really.
But there's no fertilizer,
no fertilizers,
no pesticides, no herbicides.
Yep. And then we mulch with hay or straw that we get from our farm here.
Yeah.
So we're using we cut our grass and use that to keep the moisture in around the plants.
Yeah. So I'm going to sum it all up, what you just said. Okay. So basically, to grow seeds for the Buffalo Seed Company, you have to be able to do it in a manner that they're satisfied with, which is none of those inputs, right? Because they want a particular type of seed.
Minimal inputs.
Yeah, minimal inputs. And you have to, like, there's rules, like you can't grow tomatoes within so much distance of the next tomato. Right. Or peppers, or like there's a whole bunch of rules that you kind of got to follow in order to create this perfect seed, because she is very, what's the word I would use? Very excited about being the master of seeds. And so it's really important to her. And last year we grew all kinds of things for them. This year we're growing all kinds of things for them. And what's exciting is we get to grow them here, and then you guys buy them and people buy them. And those seeds that we grew here then get to spread throughout the community, which is really a pretty neat deal. We've had great luck with the Buffalo Seed Company seeds, right? It really is minimum input. We haven't watered a lot. Last year during the heat, I think you watered 3 times. Is that right?
Yes.
So all through the heat last year, she watered 3 times.
Through the
summer. And we got big harvests. Now, part of that is the seed for sure, because they're, bio-regionally adapted to deal with it. But at the same time, it's also because of the way she mulches and, keeping the water in and all that good stuff. So that's going good. What else is going good in your garden? Tomatoes are looking good.
Tomatoes are.
Cucumbers, you're getting cucumbers.
So this is new for me this year for my tomatoes. I have always either bought them. Well, I started by buying plants, like I think everybody does, and then bought seeds, started them from seed on the kitchen counter. They get real leggy if you start them too soon, and not enough light and not enough heat and all these things. And then last year I grew tomatoes for the Buffalo Seed Company, and they provided me with the plants. So I took their plants and put them in the ground. And then at the end of last year, the growing season, I took several of the tomatoes and stuck them in a bucket, and I left them in the processing kitchen, which really stank through the whole winter. Like, I kept them moist, kept them rotting in the buckets. So I had rotten tomatoes all winter long in the processing kitchen. And then in the fall, or in the spring, I took that bucket of slurry and I poured it. I made a furrow and I poured it in the row that I wanted my tomatoes in. And they grew. I was super excited because that was like the easiest tomato plants I've ever planted. You take a dead, rotten tomato, not dead, it was alive. There was life in it, right? There's seeds. So you take that and literally poured it onto the ground.
Yeah, you made soup. Yeah, so they're doing good.
And they grew. I have lots of tomato plants up there.
We're going to have a bumper potato crop.
Potato.
You got lots of potatoes growing. Those look all good. What else are you going to have that's going to work out real good?
So I did not plant squash.
Thank God.
I planted zucchini. So the Buffalo Seed Company gave me, I think, 25 seeds, and I planted all of them because some of them aren't going to make it, and they all made it. And so I have noticed squash bugs on those plants. I have also noticed eggs from the squash bugs on those plants. But the plants are big and green and full of food. So to the point where I noticed them today, and I have to harvest. I have to get back up there and harvest because there are several that are that are edible.
Hold that thought. Hey, Caleb, good evening to you. And I don't know if that's Caleb or Amber, but hey, we got news for you guys. We need to talk at some point. The famous Faith K is here. Let me see. Will Be Cool is in the house. And of course, our friend Silver Lining is here. We're going to put that one up there because she's the bomb. Jules, good evening to you. Candy Couple, good evening. Miley Mason, good evening. Midwest Ribeye, good evening. Gypsy's here. Helen, if I missed somebody, I'm sorry. Dusty Country Road says, let me see here. Buffalo Seed Company, Grumpy mentioned them. I'll have to look them up. They are like-minded. Like I said, we grow for them every year. But there's a lot of homesteads around here that grow for them. I'm a long ways from the bottom. Let me see here. I'm just going to say my hellos. If I miss something, I'll get back to it. Simpler Times, good evening to you. And Songs of Joy, good evening. Okay, cool. I'm at the bottom. Buffalo Half Bubble Off Plum says, my son put tomato the bugs got to before we did in the compost bin. The bin looks like it has a cover crop of 2-inch tomato seedlings now. Yeah, beautiful. You got to love that. So talk about why do you think growing your own seeds are important?
Oh, well,
this is a trick question because I'm going to lead it into something else.
First of all, to have them, that's another thing too with the Buffalo Seed Company. When they have a list of things that they need grown, they need these seeds, so they're going to offer these things for us to grow. A lot of those things, I pick things that I haven't grown before. And so first of all, I learn how to grow them because I have them here and I'm learning as I go. But I also have Nancy on, speed dial to where I can call her and say, hey, snapshot, this is what it looks like. What do I do? Or, hey, this bug is on here. What do I do? And so I'm learning that way also. But then we get to use that to save the seeds for me to grow again, like the tobacco. I don't know where I was going with the tobacco.
I don't either. And if you don't know, I don't know.
I was able to gift my seeds to several others who can use them too. So.
Yeah, well, I think that's super neat about how this whole process works is that we get to totally because you grow like this year she's growing white calf buffalo woman ceremonial tobacco. Okay, just as an example. And we get to take those now. Nancy and the Buffalo Seed Company are going to get the vast majority of those seeds are going to go back to them, but we're going to keep a whole bunch of them too. And then we get to spread them out amongst the homesteads. And, I don't know, maybe we'll do a big seed exchange someday, but super, super cool. Let me see here real quick. Dragonfly Ryan, good evening to you, says, I'm here and would love to consult with both of you about an opportunity I have just north of Topeka. Let me know if that's possible. Bud, Dragonfly Ryan, email me, tag N, the letter N, B, at lifedonefree.com. And I'd be happy to visit with you. If somebody in the chat there would put my email address in there for Dragonfly Ryan, I would certainly be willing to talk to you. Let me see here. Silver Lining says, I shredded zucchini and dehydrated several and froze a lot. Mom made a slaw that was really good. Replaced the cabbage with zucchini. It was good.
That does sound good.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There's my email address right there. No, it's not Gmail. Oh, here, I'll put it in there. You were close, though. Actually, I think I have one at Gmail, too, but...
A Dragon Bee?
I have something at Gmail. Yeah. All right, there you go. I'll put that up there. There you go. There's my email address. Tag and B. Yep, we got it. All right, cool. So back to saving seeds. So saving seeds is really, really important, right?
Yeah.
And it's, I think it gives us some control, but there's a bunch of stuff that came out in the news this week that I think is going to lay into why you want to save seeds. If you want to go down that road with me.
Okay.
You want to?
Sure. What?
Okay. So I want to share. I figured out how to do a couple things while I was in here, and if you guys don't mind, I'm going to share with you guys some video clips from this week, and I figured out how to do this week. So I think, what is that? If it'll let me. I'm not going to upgrade.
Said for an extra camera.
No, I don't want that. I'm just figuring out. I've had this up earlier today. Oh, there you go. Share screen. I'm so crazy. Okay, so we want to share Windows. We want to share this one. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so this is Camille Harris, and she was talking. I'm sure a lot of you guys seen this video, but she was talking about AI, right? This is important. Okay. Okay. Pause it. Okay, so basically, I'm going to summarize what she said right there. Oh, no sound. Okay. Anyway, I won't do the share screen because apparently I haven't figured out the sound. Basically, what Camille Harris was saying was that AI is basically just machine learning, and that what they're going to do is they're going to tell it what to look for. They're going to tell it, what algorithms to build, and we're going to tell it what to do. And so this is a super important piece of AI. And you might ask, what does that have to do with seeds?
Yeah. What does that have to do with seeds?
What it has to do with seeds is this is the one leg of the that's funny. Cynthia says, yeah, I like it a lot better when I can't hear her voice. So AI is one leg of the three-legged stool that will bring in all of this stuff that's coming. Okay, and I wanted to bring up the AI slide because she says right there super, super clearly that AI will be, they will pre-program AI to look for whatever it's looking for, to do whatever it's doing.
Yeah.
So then earlier yesterday or the day before, Maxine Waters, and I have the video here. I wish I could play it where you guys could hear it. But so basically, Maxine Waters comes on and a reporter's asking her about ESG, about the ESG system. And the reporter says, it's gotten all this bad press, right? And Maxine Waters basically says, yeah, and that's, it's really unfortunate that it's gotten all this bad press because it's inevitable and everybody's going to use it. And it's just the way it is. Okay, so now combine these two, right? So Maxine Waters has been, on the Hill for a long time, right? Obviously, Camille Harris is the vice president of the United States. So if you combine Maxine Waters' statement and you combine Camille Harris's statement, and then you combine the third leg of the stool, which is central bank digital currency.
Right.
Okay, so basically, long story short is that what they're going to be able to do is they're going to be able to say, okay, if you don't play by the rules based on what Maxine Waters says, right, you're not going to be able to buy that gasoline powered car. You're not going to be able to buy ammunition, whatever it is. You're not going to be able to buy seeds. You're not going to be able to garden. You're not going to be able to farm, unless you get your, ESG system in at an appropriate level. And what's crazy, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but it wasn't very long ago. And the powers that be were talking about how ESG was a conspiracy theory. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but God, I wish I could share this. And I wonder if I can. I'm going to try one more time to share this because this is such an important clip. Let me see here. Let me see. Some screens let you share audio. Look for share audio checkbox. Share screen. Okay. Let's see here. Windows.
Is there a share audio?
I don't see a share audio button, but we're going to see here real quick here.
Is there a share audio button there? Stream share. No.
All right, I'm going to try to play this, see if you can hear it. And if you can't, tell me if you guys can hear it. They okay. Anyway, so basically, what she's saying is that everybody's going to comply with it, and no, the video is not muted. Dragonfly Ryan, I can hear it perfectly. So on my end, I hear it.
Maybe you
perfectly
have
great.
to mute your microphone so that because it's not trying to pick it up that way.
No, but it would be picking it up by this.
But
oh, but picking up by that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you just turn your speakers? Maybe. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to try this one more time and see if we can get this. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try to turn my speaker around and I'm going to see if I can.
We'll learn this.
We're going to learn this. Tell me if you guys can hear this. You guys hear that? You guys hear that? We'll see here. No, they said no. Okay. Well, I don't know how to do it. I'll have to figure this out another time. But let me see here. Nope. Look at all those nopes. Hey, Mary Michelle, how are you?
It came in. We might be on a delay because it came in like all boop boop boop.
Yeah. Leather Homestead says Glenn Beck has a new book with a ton of info, and yeah, it's called The Dark Future, I think. And I would encourage everybody to read it because it talks a lot about these kinds of things. But anyway, to make a long story short, what I was talking about is that they clearly came out, and after saying it was a conspiracy theory, Maxine Waters said basically that everyone will comply with ESG, and that's just the way it's going to be. And you have no choice in the matter. And then Harris said that AI, they're going to tell it what to look for. And then the central bank digital currency that's coming in is how we will spend money. So if you look at all three of them, it's like this perfect storm to get to and for whether you guys believe it or don't believe it, and people used to think this was conspiracy, but the Agenda 21 and the Agenda 2030 that they've been talking about for years and years is here every single day. And I think we need to be growing our own seeds, and I think we need to be producing our own lumber. And I think we really need to look at, you guys have heard me talk about a million times, you guys have heard me talk about how if you ask a general how many fronts he wants to fight a war on, the answer is one. And that's because you don't want to divide your resources into those multiple fronts. So what we have to do as a freedom loving community, we have to figure out how to limit those fronts. And so I am going to absolutely challenge you guys to limit those fronts, because the more of those they can come in and get you at, right? You have to ask permission for seeds. Well, that's just another avenue of attack.
Yeah.
If you have to ask permission for your electricity, right, then that's another avenue of attack. If you have to ask permission for your water, that's another avenue of attack. If you have to ask the bank permission to live in the house that you're living in, that's another avenue of attack. And I'm not suggesting, you guys, that you can fix all of these things. What I'm suggesting is sit down and figure out all of the avenues of attack and attack the ones you can. Eliminate the ones you can.
Right.
Guys, I'm a long ways in this journey and of, living free and breaking those chains. But the fact of the matter is I haven't broke them all. We're trying every single day. Mandy Garrett wants to know, sorry, what is ESG? I was outside helping my husband and I just got back. So if you look up, and Mandy, I would encourage you to do this. There's a lot of stuff on this right now, but ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. And I did a video on this a little while back. And so, you can go back and look at that if you want to, but basically what they're going to do is they're going to take your environmental score, your social score, and then governance, and they're going to combine them, and everyone's going to get a score. And the score is going to determine whether you get to travel or you don't get to travel. The score is going to determine what you can buy and what you can't buy. Now, they say it won't do these things, but I have some other stuff to tell you guys tonight that will kind of lay into this a little bit, and prove this, to a large degree. And so, Mandy, look up ESG. It's super critical. So remember, ESG is one piece of it. AI is the other piece, and the central bank digital currency is the other piece. And it's those three legs that will get us to the New World Order. And it's those three legs that will create that one world government that they've been, trying to figure out how to bring in, forever and ever and ever. I know there's tons of cool comments on here. Let me see if I can find some. Jules says it's basically a social governance score for businesses. Well, it's a social governance score for businesses, or that's what it's been doing. But right now, today, Merrill Lynch, if you have a Merrill Lynch account, the statement comes out, has the individual's ESG system score in it. And it's becoming a more and more common thing. And within another year, another 18 months, it'll be full blown and it will be upon us. And so you guys got to go find a way. You're not going to defeat it, But this is a great way to
Try
say
to
this.
remove all the strokes you can.
Yeah, this is a great way to say it. Hippocrates says basically a credit score for wokeness. Could not agree more. Yep. Yep. Richard says, why do you think they wanted people to register their gardens?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep. Yep. Faith says, I don't defend government, but they wanted community gardens registered. It was never meant for individuals.
Why do you suppose they wanted them registered?
Yeah. Why is it any of their business? I mean, I'm not and I know you're not either, but when we go down this road, why in the world is it? The government's role was never intended to be in our lives like that. The government's role was never intended to manage what goes on in a day-to-day house in your own property. It's supposed to be sovereign property, right? It's not supposed to. In fact, any power is not specifically given to the federal government, then lies in the hands of the state based upon the Constitution. So if it's anybody, it would be the state. But even that, they don't belong in that business. That's just simply not their job. It's been great finding local, like-minded ones with the ability to do things that we cannot, and vice versa. And we are working together on building our own supplies and skill set. Amen.
Wonderful.
And Rain Country, this is what we all need to be doing. And I'm going to go on this kick over this last, these however many next lives as we continue on. This is becoming such a real issue. I think the Maxine Water thing today was such a big deal. And all you have to do is Google Maxine Water ESG. And that whole video will come up. And I'm sorry I can't play it, but apparently I can't figure out how to do it. But American Roots said, I think they want you to register your garden so they know who to come get food from when they try to take us over. To me, it's like registering your gun. I wouldn't be registering anything because it simply ain't none of their business. Easy says, doctor gave me a list of vitamins to take, said if I do that and eat 6 times a day, I'll get off my diabetic medicine. This is awesome. But this is, I think, what we need to be doing right here, right? I mean, how do you deal with, if you have medical issues, how do you deal with them outside the system?
Yeah.
I think this is great. Easy,
Yeah.
Big congratulations to you. Yeah, drones can be dangerous. Yeah, drones are the future. And, it's crazy. Glenn Beck, someone was talking about Glenn Beck earlier today. He was talking about the 4th great industrial revolution that's coming, right? And he predicted that. And I'm a Glenn Beck fan sometimes, and sometimes he weirds me out. But, I don't know if you watch much of him. But yeah. But anyway, he talked about, the first industrial revolution was in 1760, and that we're from 2020 to 2035, we'll go through more industrial growth in that time period than we did from 1760 to 2020.
Wow.
And that, so it'd be a big deal. But let me see here. What do we got? Yeah, ESG is already accepted by the corporate world, including banking and finance. Yes, it is. Yep. And it's becoming more and more and more all the time. Oh my goodness. I hope I'm not way behind. I probably am.
You are.
They were using it as a clearinghouse of information to bring fresh foods to food deserts. Food deserts. Yeah. Let me see here. They start with community or businesses, then it carries over to private individuals, just like driver's license. Absolutely. Just like income tax, just like a lot of those things. When they brought on income tax back in the day, they said it was a temporary thing.
And it was just for businesses? No,
it was for people, but it was to help support the war efforts, I believe. And they said it would just be around for a short period and it would go away. Richard Nixon said that he's removing the dollar from the gold standard to protect it from the speculators as a temporary move, and that it would come back. And yet we've never gone back. And that's been since Richard Nixon. So I would not have any hope or faith at all that they will undo any of the things that they've done. Oh, that's funny. Nostradamus, good evening, by the way, says I registered my garden at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is the White House.
Yes.
Okay. I only have one large potato. I mean, that was the reason, but it was never mandatory either. A lot of shit got blown out of proportion. Well, I mean, maybe it got blown out of proportion, Faith, but do you think the government has any right to even ask that? I mean, who's the boss here? Are they the boss or are we the boss? They have no business in it, in any of that, whether they meant it for good or whatever it is. But, what this country doesn't need is, more and more and more governmental control, which, by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit more about today, because there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out on those as well. Mandy Garrett says, so it's all about control. It actually is. It's about them gaining control and you losing your freedom. Right? Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. Let me see here. What do we got here? It was meant for, like Social Security numbers were intended for one thing. Now it's more important than your name. You can change your name, gender easier than you can change your Social Security number. Perfectly said. Instigator, perfectly said. Isn't the government the one that backed Victory Gardens in World War II? Back then they did. Yep. Oh, sorry, they were talking together. That is why there's always some kind of war going on. Boy, and there are wars going on everywhere, and civil unrest everywhere. Let me see here. Hi, everyone. Would have been here sooner, but had to pay $290 for a new battery. Yeah, batteries got expensive, huh?
For a car battery? So $300 for a car battery?
It was, and Faith says it wasn't mandatory. I never said it was mandatory. And I agree with you that it wasn't mandatory, but it's stupid for them to even ask it. And they're pressing their bounds to even ask it. I mean, no different than if the federal government came out today and they said, hey, you know, we respectfully ask that you guys register all your firearms. That's violation of the Second Amendment, and no.
But a lot of people will. You know, for their own protection.
Right.
In case they get stolen, then they have it, you know.
Yeah. The other Homestead says, we the boss. Okay, let me see here. They always say it's temporary. Tell me anything that's been temporary that's actually temporary. Right. Right. Okay, Faith says, which, by the way, Faith is a bomb. Her and I have gone rounds in here before, and she's awesome. Okay, so she says, repeat, I totally agree. But if we are going to realistically get people to see the truth, we have to speak the truth. We can't say they're coming for your food when that's not what's happening, except I would disagree. I would totally disagree that it's not what's happening. You know, it's just like in anything, in business or in a million things. Sometimes you plant a seed and see where it goes. And you see what reaction you get from that seed, so that then later your counteroffensive or your next offensive, you could be a little better and a little smarter about it. What business does the federal government have in knowing whether or not I have a garden, or a community has a garden, or a city has a garden? You know, and so to say that this was truth, that they were just asking for fun. Were they asking just for feel good? They were asking, so maybe you talked about bringing food to food deserts. You know, were they really out doing a humanitarian effort? I highly doubt that. Government keeps taking away our rights, then selling them back to us as a license. Yeah, that's perfectly said. Evie said, I think B is correct. I need to mute your mic.
You mute this, and then it allows that to play. I don't know. We'll play with it.
Yeah, Miley says, what's going on with the movie thing? Well, there's a big strike. Did you know that?
A movie thing?
Yeah, Hollywood's striking right now.
I did not know this.
Yeah, so you got all these actors picketing on the street, which I find hilarious.
Actors?
Huh? Actors. Like Susan Sarandon, they caught her in a picture today holding a picket line. Apparently they went, I don't know. I think it's funny, personally, because those poor people, they don't have enough. Life's been so unfair. Okay. Faith says, I know what's really happening, but you can't tell someone they want people to register their gardens when it wasn't the case. Wait a second, though, Faith. They asked people to register their gardens. Mm-hmm. So you said right here in your own words that you can't tell someone they want you to register your gardens. That's exactly what they asked for. Now, you can say, if you change the sentence and you said we can't be telling people that they're mandating they register their gardens, that's probably a factual statement. But they clearly want you to register their gardens, right? Or why would they ask?
They asked.
They asked, right? Unless I'm missing something, which if I am, I'm sure you'll let me know. Let me see here. Rain Country says every new regulation, tax law always starts with good intentions, or at least it's painted that way, to start with to get people to accept it. It's for the kids. It's for your safety. Could not agree more. The Silver Lining says none of your business. Give them an inch and they'll bury you. Yep. Okay, here we go. Faith says a lot of community gardens are grown for communities, but communities don't always get that information. I'm not saying it was a great system. I'm saying we need to say the truth. Okay, so let's say the truth together, Faith. They absolutely 100% certainly asked them to register their gardens. They did not mandate or make it mandatory that they register their gardens, but they definitely asked them to register their gardens. We draw a lot of lines in the sand, and when they cross it, we always retreat. The American people will always comply. You know, Drummondson Live, I hope you're wrong, but I'm afraid you're right, because it sure seems like they've pushed us a long way, you know? They can do anything in an attempt to make it look like a humanitarian effort, but sometimes there are just too many things that don't align. Yeah, I could go on and on that piece, right? What's the 100-year-old Hollywood sign today?
Oh, did the sign turn 100 today?
I just know they're striking, but yes, there's an actor strike. So I can get all the entertainment I want by watching chickens fight over worms. That's actually pretty entertaining.
It is.
Yeah. I know people that did register their gardens. Man, this is the thing, is that we got to stand up and tell them no. We just got to tell them no. No.
But they asked.
I don't care. We elected them to serve us, not the other way around. If anybody should be asking anything, we should be asking where the money is. We should be asking why we're not balancing and auditing the Fed every single year. We should be asking why they're not accountable. They're serving the people. Remember, by and for the people,
That's what it was.
Man, get me all worked up, Faith. You're going to get me all worked up. Neighborhood, let me see. Sorry. Half Bubble Off Plum says neighbor next to City House gave me 2 Laquat. Did I say that right? Laquat trees.
Know.
Says that he can't raise anything. Offered to help him. Said no, just keep the trees. That's cool. Okay, Faith says, but people in this chat are saying they want me to register my garden, and that's not the truth. That is the truth. How is that not the truth? Faith, they asked for you to register your gardens. I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I got it. They were asking the community gardens. They weren't asking the individual. I think that's your point.
Oh.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, they want the community gardens to, they're asking for the community gardens to be registered. Right. So if they need to feed the desert, they can.
Yes. And I think this is what her point is. But they did ask for the communities to register their gardens. They did not ask the individuals. And what she's saying is be accurate in the information. That's fair. That's fair. Took me a minute, Faith, but that's fair.
Community gardens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. CNAM Sun. Did I say that right? CNAM Sun? I hope so. Well, hello to you. Let me see. USDA People's Garden Initiative is what it's called. Yeah. There's a big difference between my garden and a garden grown by a community organization. What's the big difference?
Hers is to feed herself.
And the community is to feed the community or to feed the people who are participating in the garden.
Yes. Yes.
So, and now let's also, since we're going to go down this road, let's define community garden. Does it have to be an organization? Or if me and 7 of my homesteads decide to get together and grow a big community garden, does that qualify as a community garden?
That's a community garden. You're calling it a community garden. There's
it's all definition, right?
Who's putting it together, and that garden is big enough to feed that community.
Yeah.
Faith may have, 10 tomato plants, not 150.
Right.
So if there's a desert of people who are looking for food, Faith's 10 tomato plants aren't going to go very far.
Right.
But this company or this neighborhood over here who has 150 tomato plants can definitely spare a few.
Yep. Or why we don't know what's in Fort Knox. Another good one. Faith says, dude, wait until we talk real time. We'll get to it. You know what, Faith? I love you on the live. And I think you keep coming, keep challenging. I'm a challenge back, right? That's just the way it works. But I love it. Never stop.
Until we understand.
Yeah, but then I want to understand. But I think it's still the point is they did ask people to register the gardens. It was the community gardens. And it was through the organizations. It wasn't the individuals. But they did say register your gardens. Yeah. That is a true statement, right?
They were asking people to.
Yeah. Yeah, Miley said
they didn't say register your garden. They were saying,
would
please,
you? Yeah, right.
Come and do it.
Right. The instigator says, Washington, D.C. is nowhere close to my community. Why do they need to know about my community garden unless they show up with gloves and a shovel and a hoe? I could not agree more. There's a difference between community and individual. Well, I would be curious what the difference is. If you were asked to quarter strangers, would you do it? There's an amendment that protects us against that, but many forget that one. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them that this one in particular. And no, I would not house soldiers, which is actually what that amendment talks about. But no, I would not house them. Hey, Grateful Hearts, what's going on? Okay, let me see here. Low quat, aka Japanese plum. Okay. Yeah, community gardens should identify as playgrounds. Nostradamus says Faith is correct. I just went to the government site and it clearly says community gardens. What's the definition of community gardens? Is what I want to know.
More than one family working on it.
Yeah. Okay. So this gets into the argument of mental illness and guns to me. Who gets to determine whether or not it's a community garden? What are the rules to the community garden? What law says that this is a community garden? Or is it just a matter of a bureaucrat's, opinion, hypocritical opinion, right? I want to know what the rules are to what the definition of community is.
I think it's just anybody who thinks that they have a community garden who wants to register should go ahead and register.
I wouldn't register anything.
That's what they're saying.
Mhm.
Because they're not saying it's a law, come and register your stuff. They're saying those of you who want to, and you have a community garden, they probably don't even care if it is a true community garden. It might be one person who says, I have a community garden and I want to register it because I want to.
But I still think that at the end of the day, it's none of their business. And I still think that they are overstepping their bounds. By asking. They're spending taxpayer dollars to do it. Right?
Asking?
You bet they are. They form an organization, the safety of community food bank, whatever they call it, right? They come up with some big old badass name for it. They create a program, they hire people, they put people in charge of it. They do all of this, and there's taxpayer dollars, and they completely overstep their bounds. And Noah's a complete ant. Oh, Leather said it perfectly, right?
They'll probably
right. Let me see here. Skanes Girl says, not really. How easy to destroy an entire community if they know where the garden is at?
Well, there's that.
They asked for voluntary organization to grow gardens for community reasons. If they wanted to register, so make a database so people could more easily find food in their area. Faith, this is a wonderful, beautiful thing. And the Affordable Care Act is cheap.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I don't buy the bullshit.
It's affordable.
You can say right here that they ask for them to do it so people could easily find it. And they're doing it for humanitarian reasons. There ain't a single thing our federal government does for humanitarian reasons. They do it for greed. They do it for corruption. They do it to wash money. They do it there ain't nothing they do for good. Nothing. The government has to find a way to tax us on the value of the food we grow.
Ouch.
To my point. It starts with a community garden, and then it will be all gardens. That's exactly right.
See, I could see that. Especially if times are hard.
Eagle Lover says, the community garden I volunteer at, we get veggies and supply the local food bank. Wonderful. What is the federal government's business in that? Should be none, right? Tringo says, next topic. Okay, let me see. I'll skip down here a little bit. Hey, a banquet of consequences. Good evening to you. Vicky Pullen's in here. Good evening. One step closer. Good evening. I think I said good evening to Tamber, but if I didn't, good evening. Amy B, good evening. I think I already said it. Good evening, Amy B. Screen Actors Guild is actually striking for a good reason. AI has come to Hollywood. The movie makers want to be able to scan an actor's image and use the CGI images in perpetuity, paying once. So let me get this right. So AI is perfectly fine to attack the normal human being, to attack you and me, but as soon as it affects Hollywood, right?
It's the pocketbook,
right? The people that have a whole bunch of money.
Because if I'm being hired to make a movie and I have to do all of it myself, then I get one amount. Mm-hmm. But if they're going to just use my face and use the computer to make my body do whatever, then they can just
forever. Yeah, be way cheaper. I agree. Next thing you know, they'll be hiring 87,000 garden agents. They hired all the IRS agents. Oh, cool. Good job. I'm proud of you. 100% tag, filter out to something else. Okay. I agree, tag, but we are wrong by getting in a hissy saying they are telling us to register our backyard gardens for nefarious purposes, which isn't true. We have to be true. Today they're asking for community gardens to register it as a way to plant the seed and test the ground. She's right.
She's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to skip down here a little bit, guys, because there's just so much going on, and there's so many of them in here. Dana, good evening to you. Let me see here. It's a slow fade when you give yourself away. Yeah, we've been giving ourselves away, huh? Let me see here. It's all about lists. People who have gardens mostly all have the means to defend the gardens. Let me see. Films go bankrupt after production. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I stopped going to the movies. I don't watch them. I don't pay attention. I can't tell you who the most famous actors are. I have no idea.
There's a lot of people. I have no idea who they are.
Do you? I don't have any
There was
idea.
a singer the other day. I was like, I thought it was somebody else.
So we were talking about Harris and Waters, right? Because AI and the three-legged stool, right? Something else I found interesting in my journeys while I was gone is so in September, there's a meeting about a new program called, well, not really new, it's not been in the works for a long time, but our common agenda. I don't know if you guys have heard that or not.
This was last September?
No, it's coming up.
Okay.
Okay. And let me see. So basically I did some research into it, and they have 12 points of what they're about. And so the world leaders, what I mean by the world leaders is it's brought on by NATO, but it's the United Nations, I'm not NATO, the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, a bunch of those people are coming in. And so I wrote down their 12 things that they're going to try to focus on to make us all safer. Is everybody ready for this?
Okay. I'm.
Yep. Ready? Okay. Number 1 says leave no one behind. And it goes on to talk about a universal basic income and health care for all. And remember, anything you get for free, someone else had to work for and didn't get paid. Number 2, protect our planet. Number 3, promote peace and prevent conflict. Number 4, abide by international law. Right. This one was interesting. Number 5, and I urge you guys to look up these and read these because these are super interesting. But number 5 was place girls and women at the center.
The center of what?
Of the program. Build it around women. Build it around, maybe it's because you guys, reproduce. And I think that's super interesting. 6 was interesting. Build trust and crack down on misinformation. We mean like us here tonight.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Bingo Consequences says that it's starting to sound like a communist manifesto. Oh, it is. Yeah. So number 7, ready? Improve digital cooperation. And that one went into talking also about controlling what people are seeing. So pretty much the end of the First Amendment. Yeah. Upgrade the United Nation to version 2.0. And then there's a big paragraph in there. Ensure sustainable financing. That's interesting.
Sustainable?
Yeah. What do you think sustainable financing means? I would say this is the proof, or this is the building blocks. Have you heard lately how people with good credit scores are going to pay higher rates for the people with lower credit scores, right?
Yes.
Equality in financing.
Yes.
Yep. Number 10 was boost partnerships for a common agenda. That's interesting.
Yep. So, yep.
Listen to and work with the youth to create a new education system. Be prepared with a stronger health program is item number 12. So what I find what's interesting about all of this is that all sounds wonderful, right? That all sounds like we should register our community gardens to me. But I'm going to take some heat from Faith on that one. Yep.
Yeah, Barb says trust them.
Nostradamus says, who gets to define misinformation? Well, of course they do. They know so much more than you, and they know it's so much better for you. Right? Let me see here. Amusing how the series of A Handmaid's Tale is held up by the left, as was the right once, while it's their policies that bring about the type of society. The UN is going to be the death of the USA. I think that the USA is on that tail end. I think it's absolutely going to crash. And we could get in this if, you guys want to, but, I think World War III is almost inevitable. I mean, I think there's one thing that stops it, but I think it's pretty much big trouble. Bubble Off Plum says, how's the community building project coming along? Well, good. We're still collecting material. So I had another homestead donate a bunch of OSB, which is super, super awesome. So I pretty much have, with the exception of a door and the windows, I have everything. I need the house wrap too, right?
I was going to say the paper underneath.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Not paper, but house wrap.
Yep. I have everything I need to put it up besides those last few items. So we're kind of down to the last ones.
Screws?
No, but I got a couple gift cards from someone to buy screws. I just haven't went and picked them up yet.
Wow.
So it's coming along really, really cool. I'm hoping here pretty quick I'll collect the last few pieces and we'll put it up. The thing is, I didn't really want this project to be a tag and be project.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at any time we could just go buy the rest of the stuff. We're down to the very best minimum. But if I could get a whole bunch of people to come together and do it, I just think that's neat. And so, I'm hoping anyway. Let me see here. I can see the government gave a grant for a community garden. They would want assurance that the funding was doing what it was intended to do. Yeah, I would 100% agree that if you're going to get in bed with the government and you're going to take government money, which is really just your money coming back, but if you're going to sign a deal with the devil, then you should expect the devil to be in your business. Yeah, there we go. There we go, Heidi. Heidi says all that flowery wording equals enslavement. I could not agree more.
Flowery wording.
That list sounds like there are a lot of ways to turn your neighbor against your neighbor. It's ridiculous. I wish that I had time to go into each one of them more, which I will. I'm going to do a bunch of research on this. I'll probably do a few videos on this topic. But I've just found it. And so it was me kind of running through it, trying to make sure that I get it. But basically what that list means is more control for them and less freedom for you. That's about it. Oh my goodness. I got to skip down, guys. I'm sorry. I missed so many. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I guess you can't keep up sometimes. To have registered gardens is to control people to control which people receive the most of the harvest. Guys, here's the thing with this. And hey, Rhonda, by the way, good evening. Hey, Rickster, good evening. Did you miss anybody? Here's the thing is that, there's a lot of benefits out there. My pond. So I could have gone to the state and I could have said, hey, I want to build a pond, and they would have built it for me. I spent $32,000 building the pond, but I could have went there. Now I have to follow the rules. Right? I have to let everybody onto my property. They have to be able to fish it. I'm in a contract from some, period of time. You can do all of those things. But at the end of the day, if you're going to go down those roads and take that easy road, right? Because it's easier, then you have to live to those types of expectations. If you're going to take a government grant, which I would not do at this point, if you're going to take those kinds of things, be prepared to live to the strings that come along with them.
Yeah. You go up a little bit. There was something in not cursive.
Where at?
There was some
Who?
Capitals. I want to tell B not to feed her.
This one?
Her.
I want to tell B not to feed her chickens something to make the shells on her eggs thicker if she's going to collect eggs to incubate. Okay, what is it?
What? Not to feed them like eggshell, not to feed them like oyster shells, or I don't. I mean, I have in the past, but it's not a regular thing.
Yeah, Faith says it's amazing how much Tag thinks I disagree with him. You know what, Faith? I actually don't think you and I disagree much. I don't. So what is that?
Panzer's having a dream.
Oh my goodness, my boxer's having a dream at the bottom of the
dog.
stairs. Faith, I promise you and me are all good. All good. Chris White says the Commie Manifesto. It really kind of is, huh? All right, should we get on with the next item? Yeah, Eagle Lover said $32,000 to build a pond. Well, to build my pond. Now, all ponds are going to be different. Now, my pond was expensive because I built it in the middle of the woods. So all the woods had to be cleared.
And then I wanted the rocks out of it.
Then B wanted every rock that was in there to be pushed aside and saved. That cost me additional
That cost
money.
Extra.
Yeah, I bet you that was $5,000 all by itself.
Come on now.
I bet.
Not that much.
I bet.
That's ridiculous.
Babe, you're paying a bulldozer $175 an hour to push rocks up on a bank. But then there
come in so handy.
There was another thing. My pond is 2.25 acres and it's deep. So it's 21 feet deep pretty much across the whole entire thing. We wanted an island built for the birds. And so that's why.
That was extra.
Of course it was. Everything's extra. So yeah, that's what I paid to have it done.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get on to another thing. Let's talk about, hey, I've been ranting. Why don't you pick
Hi,
one?
Choche.
Good evening. What do we got next on your list? I've got all kinds of stuff on my list.
Oh, well, you already talked about the siding for the community.
Nope.
The place
I didn't.
I
didn't.
Finding a deal.
I didn't. Go ahead. Do you want me to?
Yeah.
So, recently me and another,
that's how we do it.
So a couple homesteads are getting ready to make a big purchase of building material. And so we do this quite often. So, there'll be, a handful of buildings go up at one time. And
not all here.
not on our property, but all the homesteads
Yeah,
around us, right? And so we'll get together, we'll get a bulk order together, and then I'll go down and talk to the general manager specifically at Home Depot because I know him pretty well, and try to get the best deal I can get. But we'll get, we'll shop it around anyway, blah, blah, blah. So we were looking at getting some quotes on some hardy board concrete siding because it's just great siding. It's durable. It will be there a long, long time.
Way better than vinyl siding.
Yeah. To some.
To some people.
Not, it's all good. But anyway, it's good stuff. But so we was going to do a quote, but I was doing some looking and I found a guy in Tulsa, Oklahoma that had 1,800 12-foot boards for $5 a piece. Well, if you go to Home Depot, it's $12.47.
12, yeah.
Home Depot one sticks $12.47. So this is $5, but it's 4 hours away, right? And so I spoke with some of the other homesteads. One of them is super interested, is going to buy it all. And so they're headed tomorrow down to Tulsa, Oklahoma, 4 hours away from me, to pick up this big load of concrete siding. Why this story matters is because I get asked all the time, first of all, why do you live in a 5,000 square foot home? And then two, how did you manage to build it for under $100,000? So both of those questions are the first one. I live in a 5,000 square foot home because I have kids who are grown and I believe they're coming home someday. And so in our house, we built master suites for each one of the kids. We don't live in the space, but they will have a place to come home. And they'll have a place for their 1.3 kids and their spouse when that day comes. Because again, I believe it's coming.
And that space is coming super handy when we have visitors.
Oh, sure. There's homesteads that come down to work on their property. They're getting going and stay with us and all of those kind of things. So anyway, that's that. So the other thing is how do we manage to build a homestead cheap, or how do we manage to build it cheaper? Well, one of the ways you do it is you got to try to make $1 too. And so what I mean by that is, I bought my siding, I bought a bunch of roofing, I bought all kinds of stuff on clearance at 30 and 40 cents on the dollar. And that allows me to go further and further and further. So if you think about this particular instance, so this gentleman needed 1,900 square feet of siding, and that was going to cost him about, if I remember right, that was going to cost him about $4,500 for the 1,900 square feet that he needed. So he could go down and buy 7,500 square feet in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So 1,900 to 7,500 for the exact same amount of money. So going down there's going to save thousands of dollars. That's thousands of dollars is new doors. It's tanks. It's solar systems. It's all of these, things. Then furthermore, he's going to buy it all so that some of the other homesteads can benefit from it. So not only is he saving money, but the other people who are building along the way can save money as well. B and I have agreed we're going to buy enough of it from him to side the community building, which I was originally going to put metal on. But this at $5 a 12-foot long board.
Yeah.
That I just can't do. I can't do it any cheaper.
And it'll look nice.
And it'll look super nice. Yep. And so that was a big win for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Good.
Well, and that also, when other people are in the community are, like you had said, if we know what you're looking for and you're not super picky,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we could have said, no, we want something else on the side of our house. And then we wouldn't have been able to use the truckload of siding that we got.
Yeah.
But that's how you can just stretch your dollars.
Yeah. Bangor Consequences says, laugh out loud. I knows a guy who knows a guy. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
I've heard that before.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else you want to talk to me about that? You need to go do one?
No, let's talk about the turkeys.
Okay,
so
good.
I got the turkeys that I ordered while you were napping. So it was Tag left to go to Michigan, and he told me that they were supposed to be here
Friday.
Sometime. Did you say Friday?
I said Friday.
Okay, Friday. And so the last ones we got, they shipped on a Wednesday. They got here on Friday, which they were born on Wednesday, shipped on Wednesday, and they got here on Friday. Well, that was the first batch. The second batch was supposed to have, they were born on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. They hatched on Wednesday. They were shipped on Wednesday. and they were supposed to have been here on Friday. And when you went to get the first ones, it was 7 o'clock in the morning on that Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday morning came, Friday afternoon, and by about 2 o'clock, in the afternoon before that, I called the post office and I told them I'm waiting for these chicks. They're pullets. They're live animals, and they said that they were going to be delayed. That they were en route from Topeka, which is an hour away. So they are an hour. Yeah. So, so they put in some kind of like ticket or whatever to wait to make my post office call me when they got there. Well, I said that wasn't acceptable because it was Friday. I then called my post office and said, hey, what do I do? Because these are live animals. And she said that I could call that post office that they were sitting at and see if I could drive to them to pick them up, which is what I did. I drove to Topeka, picked up the birds Friday evening. They were hatched Wednesday morning, got them Friday evening, got them all situated where they needed to be. Food, heat plate, food and water. I would go in there multiple times, dipping their beaks, making sure that they were, that I could see that they were all moving around, not lethargic and, in the corner. Everything seemed fine. Day 1, day 2 came, everything seemed fine. Day 3 came. The morning of day 3, there were 5 dead birds in the brooder. And then they were just like dropping like flies from there. There were 20 birds initially, and 13 of them had passed in 3 days. Mm-hmm. And then on the second day, you called the company and they refunded us for 9 of them. Mm-hmm. And then the others died the next day. So we are down to 7
of 20.
Mm-hmm. They suggested that they thought that maybe they just quit eating and drinking. They just forgot to eat and drink, which is weird because I was in there all of the time, making sure, making sure nobody was. That's the weird thing. I've never had a loss like that in such a short time.
Well, talk about the 10 you got just a few days before that, and they all did just fine.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So different
breed, but same hatchery.
Yeah, different kind. Mm-hmm. They were I don't even remember. So anyway, I don't know. They suggested to put like marbles or something in the water, something shiny to make them want to drink. I did that. What else did they say?
Put sugar in the water.
Oh, sugar in the water, which I had already done that I did that the first day.
Well, I think it's just part of the process though. And I think they had a longer ship time, which I think impacted that.
It was a lot
longer. And so what's interesting about that is so that I did some looking, and there's a small hatchery about 30 minutes from me called Rare Birds. And they grow basically all the heritage stuff. Bunch of chickens, bunch of turkeys, all that stuff. We're going to go tour that hatchery and see if I can do business even more local. But in fairness, Murray Hatchery, which is where we ordered them from, was fantastic. They refunded my money. They did not. It was just no issue. They were a good place to do business with, so I would not knock them at all. Customer service was good. The first 10 we got, all 10 did just fine. The second 20 we got, well, we lost most of them. Silver Lighting says, tag, your ripple effect video was great. I can see that you've been working very hard. Love the artsy door. Yeah, thank you. And the ripple effect is a very real thing. And for any of you guys out there who are homesteading every day, you will know this to be true. Every decision you make has a ripple effect, and that ripple effect impacts way out there. Something so simple as picking up the phone and saying, hey, I'd like to have some turkeys. Think about the energy and the resources that have been spent now.
Oh my gosh.
For coops and for runs.
And just the time being in there to, if you forget to drink, let me dip your beak 3 times a hour.
Yep. So it's just, part of the process. But I think what you got to do is be a thinker as you go through the process. because it's a beast. And, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later with American Roots too, but it always has a ripple effect. And so you got to think that process out, really the best you can, or you get hammered, in it. And it was fine. I mean, we got most of our money back and we're off and running and, off we go. But
yeah, I told him to contact him about the others that he's like, nah, just leave it.
Hey, Kelly Ireland, good evening to you. Amy B says magic water, ACV, garlic, and molasses has been very good for my hatchlings.
For turkeys? ABC, garlic, and molasses.
Yeah, Southern Comfort Homestead says so true. It is true, isn't it? A lot of people don't know that. I could talk about the ripple effect forever, how one little thing that we do and the ripple effect that has out further and further and further and further and further.
Garlic.
I was, when Bee decided she was going to go down the turkey road, I was in my shop getting to a project I've been dying to do, which is a kitchen table. And I love building furniture. And I got started on it. Next thing you know, that's been sitting out there for 2 weeks. Haven't done nothing on it because I've been dealing with the ripple effect of turkeys.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Rickster, this is said really well. The ripple can turn into a tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If not managed, it is. And guys, I don't mind the bee. It's so crazy. Like my biggest problems in life is that my wife wants to make us freer and she wants to feed us. Right. I mean, so I really have no complaints. It's fine. But it certainly does send me into that tsunami as he was talking about. Jules, you might try to talk to a friend. Oh yeah. Okay. Got it. Sorry. All right. So Amy B says chicken and quail is what she's used it for. So let's talk about the auction.
Chicken, ducks, and quails. Okay.
You talk about the auction?
Yeah.
So I don't know if all you guys have seen the video, but I put a video out early this week from an Amish auction that we went to. And it's in Jamesport, Missouri, which is about 2 hours and 5 minutes from us. And so B and I and a couple of our good friends, Indiana Mike and Bird's Eye View, went up there. We actually met Mo, which is another buddy of mine from Missouri up there. But we went up there and basically spent all day at an auction. Guys, I can't tell you how amazing it was. I mean, seriously, the propane, refrigerators to the gas-powered meat grinders there was just
ice house.
Yeah, complete ice house. I mean, it was a absolute prepper's homesteading dream.
Yeah, building materials, silos.
Yeah,
or grain mill.
Yeah, it's a 2-day auction. We only stayed 1 day. I was tired by the end of the day. I don't know about, Mr. Indiana, but I bet he was whooped too. But it was a long day, but it was so much fun. I ate homemade ice cream all day long.
Yeah.
I made several trips to that.
They had all of their food they made them. Those noodles, the hamburgers,
How many washing machines do you think were there?
50.
Man, there was a lot. And wood cook stoves. Like there was actually Kitchen Queen cook stoves that like what Bee uses in her kitchen was there.
Yeah. I can't believe that. So like all of the stoves, there were different brands, different, sizes, different, all that. The washing machines, they were like all the same. That's the weirdest thing. Like that's the only kind of washer that they use apparently. Well, and then the, rock back and forth manual. But I thought that was interesting that all of those washers were the exact same make.
Yeah. It was just an amazing experience that when we got there, B and I, the first thing, which is something we would very typically do at an auction, we go to lots of auctions. And so step one of an auction is, and it's actually kind of funny. We got there in Indiana and, his clan gone. They're, headed off looking at it.
It was so big.
It was big. Yeah.
A lot of friendly face. Well, I mean, not friendly. We didn't see a lot of people we know until we would come back together. And then so B and I went in another direction. So we basically walked up and we went to the washing machine aisle first. And then next to it was a stove aisle. And pretty soon you're in an aisle with, horse drawn lawnmowers and, all that crazy stuff. And I had my eye on a whole bunch of things. I went there hoping that what I was going to end up with was a stainless steel tank for her cook stove. I want a big one that I can circulate water through. And that's been on my list for a while, but I haven't run into one. Another stainless steel sink, because what I would really like to do is get her a washing station at her bird coops, because she's got 4 bird coops over there now. And if I could get her a washing station, you guys know how it is. You take their water and they've shit in it and there's been, hay in it or whatever it is. And so she washes and cleans their water out twice a day. She can make sure they have clean water all the time.
I'd love to give her a washing station right there, hook it to a big tank, rainwater, a little pump, one solar panel, and she's in business. But I need a big, deep basin sink
so that I can put a water
that she can wash them in. And so anyway, those were the things that I went there for. I got the stainless steel tank. I bought one for $100, which is nice. So we'll get
homemade.
That. Yeah, it was beautiful. So we'll get that hooked up. I bought a bunch of hand tools and some chain. But the stainless steel sinks, man, they went for so much money. In Bee's, if you guys remember Bee's processing kitchen videos, when she's in her processing kitchen, that big triple bay sink, the spray nozzle, everything, I paid $150 for.
And it was less than that.
At an auction. That was $150 for the big sink, if I remember correct. But it was right there.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking the tables.
Yeah, the tables were less than that. Yeah. But the exact same sink up there at the auction, not counting the sprayer, right? Just the sink. I mean, it was $800, $900, $1,000, and I just simply, wasn't going to pay that for that. So,
no, and they were banged up.
Yeah, I think I missed.
So we're still looking.
Yeah, Starla Doak says, sorry I'm late, but she just got done seeing her specialist. Found out, I guess I can post it, huh? Found out that she has a compression fracture on T12, but hey, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Yeah, all those prayer warriors, get them out there for Starla for a quick heal.
Ouch.
Oh, that's funny. Leather says maybe they came out of an Amish laundromat. All the washers? You never know, right? Lehman sells a lot of stuff for Amish, including those washing machines.
Oh.
Yep. That auction was very interesting. Lots of cool stuff. Yeah, it was so cool. So cool. B, if all the washers are all the same, then they are easier for the Amish to fix. I agree. I was losing my mind on the auction video. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, Jane says the ripple effect video was good. Guys, I'm telling you, I learn as I do this more and more and more. And guys, I'm a long ways from expert. I joined a group on Facebook the other day that asked me what level of homesteader I was. And, in the sign up process, and I'm like,
what level?
I don't know. Yeah. Like, are you a beginner? Are you a whatever? And I just put intermediate.
You think you're intermediate?
I don't know. I'm not going to put expert.
I would say we're beginners.
Or you would think? I wouldn't go that far.
We're just learning.
We live off grid. We've been doing it for years.
I know. It's just not years.
A few. Let me see here. B, wouldn't it be cool if there were some dumpsters full of items by the dumpster? No, that would not be cool.
Yeah.
No.
I'd need a trailer. I was told that at the auctions when you buy something that comes in, like you buy this whole box, that some people just want one item in there and then they just take that item and then they leave the rest of the stuff, which when my dad died and my mom had her auction, there was quite a bit of that was left behind. But I can't imagine trying to load up a truck at the Amish auction. That would be pretty cool.
It was a great experience. I think some of the things that I learned from it that was interesting to me was, one, it was cool to do the people watching part because there was courting going on. There was a lot of young ladies and young men, walking around kind of like this big social event, which was interesting. Yes. The other thing is, although it was a prepper's paradise, and I said this in my video, it kind of really wasn't a great auction because, it was a great auction from all the things that were there, but there was 90% of the people that were there were Amish. Mm-hmm. They all understand the value of a gas-powered meat grinder. That's their life. You put that gas power meat grinder in my local auction here, in Kansas, and you might not get anybody to bid on it.
Yeah.
But over there, it had real value. And so I think that's why things were, more expensive.
That could be.
Would be my guess anyway. Tamara says little turkeys will just up and die on you for no reason. Yeah.
Oh.
I want to go back to her comment. So Terminator said, tag, my husband told me he's going to make me a washing machine from his old cement mixer. You know what? That is so Terminesque. It really is, Yeah, Rickster says, tag is an expert dessert eater. Guys, I've always been a believer that if someone tells you they're an expert in something, you probably shouldn't listen to them. Well, seriously, think about keeping bees.
Yeah.
How many years do you suppose you will learn something new every year?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know that you ever, maybe I'm weird about that, but Okay, they're just chit-chatting back and forth. Any other thing else you want to talk about as far as the auction goes?
The auction?
Yeah. What'd you get out of it? What'd you find interesting about it?
A lot of it I can't understand. So at first I was like, okay, if you're going to be over there looking at that stainless steel sink and this guy's, I'm just sitting here waiting for you and waiting for that guy, I might as well be bidding on stuff. So next time I think we should both have a number.
That is so BS. B, what are you going to do with a number?
And then too, like bid, I could have bought way more shovels than I did.
Are you actually going to bid?
Maybe if I understand, because there was a couple of times I'm like, what did he just say? How much was that? So
yeah, she is in zero
and then
danger.
I'm like, double the money. What is double the money?
Does that help?
Or no, you turned on the wrong one.
That help?
Or what did he say? One money, and I'm like, well, how many monies? How many monies are there? If it's one money, two monies, four monies.
Oh my goodness.
One money. Yeah. So you gotta understand what they're saying. Not only because they speak fast, but the lingo of what that means.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you guys that every auction we've ever been to, she has never bid on anything.
No.
Not a single time. Now,
no.
So let's tell them a little bit.
I tried the pawn. You never know. I may try my hand at auctioning.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. She's never bid on a single thing, guys. So just so you know. So what happens is we go to an auction. There's an auction. We go up the day before. We drive all around the auction. She makes me an itemized list of the things she'd like to have from the auction. And then when the auction comes, she stays home.
Yep. I don't.
And now you think you're going to go to an Amish auction with all these runs and get your own number and actually stand there and bid?
I thought for a second,
gosh,
like,
seriously,
I could be bidding on these shovels.
Oh my goodness, you guys!
And they went for like $8. There was like they were like,
oh my gosh,
they were like tied together for $8.
Yeah.
Now some of the things I would not pay for. I was like, what? They paid what for that? But some of the things were,
Okay, so you guys heard it.
steals.
She's interested in bidding. So the next consignment auction that we do up here,
not up here,
right? B is going to go to the auction and she's going to get her own bidding number and she's going to stand there and successfully win a bid. Right? High five.
I bid on a sink at the online auction.
That don't count. Sitting behind your phone, we have a keyboard commando. She's a keyboard commando. Mall ninja.
I thought you were going to say something about the sink I bought.
What was broken? Yeah, she bought a sink once on an online auction. And it gets here, and I go to pick it up.
The bottom is cracked.
It's crushed because she didn't read the description. She just thought the sink was pretty. Because it's so pretty.
I thought I could totally make something out of that.
Oh my goodness. Dragonfly says, Tag, I might have an option for you on the pickup of that load siding in Tulsa. I would be very interested. Because to get it tomorrow, it's a huge inconvenience. But we're going to do what we got to do. But I would certainly welcome the email. Mally says it's on tag. It's always on tag.
It's on tag.
Why not use fiberglass slop sinks for B sink? NSF stainless is not really needed. I would be open to whatever deal I found, right? If I can find a big deep sink that I can pay for $100, that's perfectly fine to sit out. It's not really going to be in the weather. It's covered, but it's outside. Let me see. Richard says, Harry Truman said an expert is a fellow afraid to learn anything new because then he wouldn't be an expert.
Oh, right.
Yeah, let me see here. Tamara says AC vinegar is good for every kind of chick. Indiana Mike says one money, all the items for one set price. See, versus if they say, double the money, then you're paying, like, let's say they're holding up two shovels and they say 2 times the money. You're bidding on each individual piece and you're going to pay twice. So let's say you bid $5, then you're paying $5 for each shovel. Versus one money and they were holding up 2, you would be bidding one money for both items.
So that's what I need to look for. One money.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Kentuckable Sustainable Living is here. Good evening to you.
Kentuckable.
Did I say Kentuckable?
Kentuckable.
Kentuckable. Let me see here. Experts don't have to say that they're experts. Well, I'm a long ways from an expert. Yep. Silver Lining says she'll go with you.
See.
I want to see you guys successfully pull it off.
We will
Because
buy
it's all
something.
it's all BS.
Yeah,
let me tell you
buy
something.
Something.
A hot dog at the stand don't count. Okay. Bee bidding could be a dangerous thing.
I'll be like, do it. Put your hand up.
Yeah, silver lining, you're asking for trouble. Just saying.
She'll be like, no, you do it.
Yeah, here, Gene River Homestead says, I get a 56 Triumph for $1,200. It was blown up. So I fixed it and sold it for $5,600. Yeah, great deal. What a great way to make money, right?
Yeah.
I know people who buy in our community who buy things at one auction because it will typically go cheaper at this auction and then take it the next week to the next auction and try to make a couple $100.
And it's worked.
Her bidding number will be 9 3/4. Yes, it will be 9 3/4. It will absolutely be 9 3/4. Hey, Leather, good evening to you. Have a good night. I feel like you should have gotten the owl. Yeah, why don't you talk about the owl, Miss B?
I didn't think we needed just something to put in the yard because we've got all this other yard art.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I thought I just heard.
Yeah. Silver lining. I think she should have gotten it as well.
Do you know what it went for? There was an owl, there was an eagle, and there was a cardinal, all that flapped its wings when it.
Let me see here. Gene River Homestead says, I don't know anyone here. Well, get to know everybody. So Starla Doak, she commented right behind you. She's here a lot. Silver lining is crazy and is going to get B in trouble. Leather Homestead makes great leather gear. Terminator's above that. And well, she's the Terminator. We call her that for a reason. The Instigator's above that. Tambra Smith's above that. See, look, you got all kinds of friends just like that. We're glad you're here. And if you hang out, you'll meet lots of them because they're always torturing me. Where are we at here? There are a lot of hellos. Oh, yeah. Yeah. American Root says, I bid against myself once. It was hysterical. Oh yeah. Let's send Jess and B to an auction together.
Did they catch you on it, or did they just did they let you bid yourself? Did they let you outbid yourself? I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. LJC will go with me too.
Yep. Oh, great. So
we'll have a party.
So LJC, Silver Lining, Jess, and B go to an auction. There's like a joke here.
Yep. What do we come home with?
Oh my goodness.
You never know.
Yeah, Rickster said that owl was awesome. See, I think that owl up on the garden post on your.
Tell me then. If you would have sold it to me like, hey, this will keep stuff out of your garden, I would have been like, I need that owl. See, you should have, better. Come on.
Okay, but here's the thing. And guys, here's a lesson for you. And girls, here's a lesson for you. When your husband comes to you and says, hey, come check out this owl, at least show a tiny bit of enthusiasm. And okay, cool. I'll come check it out, baby. If you think, hold on. I'm not done yet. Have a little bit of enthusiasm. Instead, don't do what B does, which is I go to her and say, hey, you got to come check out this out. Why do we need that shit? It's just a waste. And just completely blew me off. And that was that. So go ahead.
Art. Can't you just make that with all that scrap metal you got out there?
Because owls keep the crows away.
Can't you make me an owl?
Oh yeah, cool.
Can you make that?
Look at all those hellos. Gene River Homestead, look.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Starla wants to know if you're going to do a garden tour anytime soon.
Kind of.
See? Indiana agrees that owl was awesome. We could have put it on the top of your chicken coop. Look at all the predators.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can't you make me one?
No, the auctioneer laughed and said, hold on, little lady, you're still in the lead. Oh, Jess, there's such a nickname there.
Little lady.
Joel said she'd go along to supervise. Oh yeah, that's all we need. More of the Cougar clan,
Cackling.
Yeah. Miss OK Tag, I sent you an email info, hopefully help you with picking up. Yeah, so I'm going to forward this real quick. But let me see if I hope I have his email address in here. Yep, I got it. So Gypsy, I just sent you an email you need to review. I know Gypsy's watching, and So we'll see if there's something there. And if not, I'll, okay. That would be super helpful if we could figure out a way to do it. Let me see here. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind. Tag's next art project is chainsaw carved owl for Bee's garden. But Amy B, the thing is, if you watch that video, this bee was on a pole and had a counterweight. So when the wind moved, it flapped its wings like this.
Yeah. It
was metal. And it was just this big, beautiful thing.
It was big.
Yes. Yeah. So Lehman's has those washers for $2,000 new. And I think they went for...
Well, that brand new one I thought went for $2,000.
$2,000, the new one, but most of them went for like
there was one in a box.
400 to 600 or 700, I think. Yeah, this next auction is going to be fun. Yeah, we're going to go to the auction, I think, every year because it's just such an amazing experience. We need to go up there though and actually visit the Amish stores while we're there.
See, that's the thing. You can't do all that in one day. It starts at 8:00. We left at dinner time, so there's you can't go shopping at the stores. Because they're all scattered. Yeah.
Yes. Gypsy Juicy Lefty is here. He commented earlier, unless he's asleep, which that could be true too. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, K-Bonk said, "Do you know what Amish they are?" Well, so here's the funny thing: there was all different kinds, and you could tell a lot of the differences. It was nice that Indiana Mike and MMR were there because they could kind of point some of that stuff out to me. But different hats, different colors. Like it was interesting. Some of them had those bonnets, but some of them had rags, like on their head, and a lot of the kids were barefoot, but some of them weren't. And it was interesting to kind of watch. Watch all that.
There was quite a few adult women running around barefoot too.
Yeah.
And there's like horse-drawn stuff. So there's like legit poo everywhere. And they're just running around.
There is legit poo everywhere. That's a t-shirt.
They were just running around barefoot.
Yep. Okay. Let me see here. Amy B says, Night Owl, got to tuck the birds in. Yeah, we got to do that before long.
Yeah.
And do a raccoon recon. Yep. I think he has a lead deficiency. Yeah, luckily we haven't lost any raccoons. The worst predator we have for birds
is the dogs.
Is the puppies. Yeah, we're working on that though.
No, so the dogs have managed to get into contact with 4 chicks. And then today I was up in the garden and I harvested the cilantro seeds or coriander, and I was picking them off, and Tag said, "Why don't you take those back to the house and do that at the house while you're sitting down in the cool?" And I said, "Oh, that's a great idea." So I grabbed my towel, my beach towel that I had in my Kubota, which, wipe your face or whatever. And so I laid it out, put the plants on there and wrapped
I don't think the light's open.
What about that light? I wrapped the plant in the towel and put it in the Kubota, brought it home, put it in the greenhouse. It started raining really bad. I opened the greenhouse door thinking I was going to be nice to the puppies and let them into the nice enclosed greenhouse so that they could watch the storm. And they took that towel that I had the plants, the cilantro in, and they shredded it into the greenhouse along with my coxcomb seeds that I had sitting there drying. So dogs, puppies, they're learning.
If you just don't give them access to your seeds, you won't have any problems.
I had them up on the bench.
Clearly out of their reach.
I thought that they were safe up on the bench.
Clearly.
But apparently.
Vicky's funny. She said, I love the owl as well, but wouldn't it give your chickens a heart attack if you put it on top of the chicken coop?
Oh, yes.
But
if you put it in the greenhouse.
I don't think they would see it on top of the chicken coop.
Yeah.
If I put it up on the roof of the chicken coop?
Yeah, because maybe if there's just a bird flying over, they scurry, that aerial predators, they.
Yeah. Teresa says the Amish do a parasite cleans every 6 months. I've heard. I've never heard that.
I'd like to know more about it.
Yep. Faith says, God made dirt, so dirt don't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instigator says they call it puppy love.
Yes, it is puppy love.
Miley says, what's on the productive list for tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
So what are you gonna do tomorrow?
Saturday. I think we're back on the chicken coop or
Turkey coop?
oh yeah, I mean turkey coop. Yes, the turkey coop.
Yeah.
Cow house.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna go try to get that more wrapped up. I ordered the pump for her tank, so I'm gonna make this new barn. So it's gonna have one stall for a cow or for a goat or whatever it is, and then it's got a giddy house, it's got a turkey house and a rooster house in it. And anyway, I'm going to make all the waters automatic. And so I'll do a video on it when I build it. But I ordered the pump. I'm just waiting for it to come in. I found a low volt. It's a 12 volt, but doesn't use but like 60 watts of power when it's on. So I can run everything. It's all put it on a pressure switch. So all she has to do is turn a valve and it'll just automatically run. The floats will run. It'll just do it all by itself. So that ought to be a pretty cool project.
Can't wait to see it.
Let me see here. Starla says the bonnets and dress of the Amish and Mennonite are the identifiers. My branch of Mennonite wore white bonnets. Yeah, and there were white and black and all kinds of stuff. RN says, B, the thistles we have will go through heavy leather gloves, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the message was, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it said thistle. It came up on the top of my phone, and then I didn't click it right then, and then I didn't know where it went.
Yep.
Yes, they go through.
Yep.
They have lots of owie thorns.
Yeah. Good night, Banco to Consequences. Chris White says different orders. Yeah, I didn't know if you called them sects or sects or orders or what you called them, but let me see here. The poultry cups I use for my chickens are just gravity fed. Yeah, the problem is I can't use gravity because what I've got to be able to do is go up over stalls. And so I'm going to have to use a pump. But I like I said, I'm going to use a 12 volt pump. It'll have its own, solar panel or two. Just run some lights in the pump, but I think it'll be all right. Yeah, the Rickster says the crooked turkey house. It's really not crooked. Remember you made the statement in the video is it's not square.
Oh, yes. Well,
Yeah.
he's fixing that.
Well, no, I'm not going to fix it.
Well, you can't tell
I'm
from this.
going to hide
can't
it.
Tell.
I'm going to hide it. Because the problem is, guys, when you build with telephone poles, I don't know if you guys ever built with telephone poles, the bottom's bigger than the top.
So and they're not all the same size.
And they're not all the same size. So if you put a level on a telephone pole, you're actually going to end up with a crooked telephone pole because it's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top. So that's what she's referring to. Look at this.
Which he tried to explain this to me, and I was like, I don't understand. It would be fine. And we did it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Hey, Gene River Homestead, look at that. You're making all kinds of friends. It's funny. Johnny says, laugh my ass off. I'm not going to fix it. I am not going to fix it. I'm going to hide it. And actually, I've learned over the years where to push a mistake. I don't know if you guys know what I mean by that. But when in the building process, if you run into a mistake, you can actually push it into places. And so I'm actually going to push it into the highest peak in the soffit. So if you look on the one side, you're going to end up with a wider soffit at the top, at the highest top, and a little bit thinner at the bottom by a few inches. And so I'm going to push all my mistake up into that corner. And so it will take a, pretty stud eye. Now that I've told all you guys this and you guys come out to my homestead, you'll be, oh, look, I can see it.
This is the crooked building. And it's funny. One of our friends showed up and he goes, oh, you just have one piece left. Are you just going to cut it? Wide at the bottom and narrow at the top. And he's like, what? No, I'm going to move that. Yeah. I call it a rim joist. What is it?
It's not really a rim joist because it's not a joist.
But it's on the rim.
It's just the top nailer board.
Yeah. Right? So he's like, I'm just going to move that out so that it's a full piece all the whole way instead of a full piece at the bottom, angling to the top.
I'm going to show you what pump I bought, but I don't know whether I like it or not because I have not used it yet. This is a new pump for me. And, here. Sorry, I probably should put that one up, huh? Right there.
eBay?
Oh, what is going on here? I have no idea what that.
Just click. If you click that, it might take you. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Changed it. I probably changed it. You know this world of passwords.
Don't do what I told you to do. That doesn't make sense.
And then it's all got to be all complicated.
What's your go-to pump brand? Not happy with the SureFlow.
I don't know. It won't let me log in. Anyway, I'll I'll do a review on that pump. How's that sound? I've never used it, so
What's
it's just a
the
12-volt
one? What are
pump.
the other ones that we have?
Simmer. Simmer's the brand I typically use, and I've been very happy with them. But this one I wanted to go 12-volt because it would just be way more efficient, not having to convert it to 110. All right, there's Gypsy says, we'll call later, see what can be done. Awesome. So Dragonfly, Gypsy 19 is who I sent that email to. Let me see here. Has anyone resewn leather? I've been cleaning out a shed to make repairs for my chicken coop and found a trunk with all my dad's leather welding attire.
Oh.
Awesome. Threads have rotted from the roof leak. Well, actually, there is Leather Homestead, who was in here a little bit earlier, Skanks Girl.
They like to do chores.
Is a master of leather work. That's who I would absolutely use. If you email me, I will send you their contact information. All right, where are we at here? I don't even know. Let's see here. Throw those dogs on their backs. Yeah, stand over and holler no. You have to slap them around some. Make it crystal clear. Yeah, Jane.
Tag caught him.
Yeah, I caught him.
He caught him.
And I'm a big believer in that you have to escalate until they listen. So, you know, the first time can be no. The second time is firmer and firmer and firmer. Well, they got smacked pretty good because I caught him in a corner chasing a duck. So I'm hoping that maybe, you know, something's changed in that time. But anyway, I don't know. Oh, did you hear about Maybelline?
Because asking them nicely has not worked.
Yeah, asking them nicely hasn't worked. Maybelline, you hear about that?
Maybelline makeup?
So, yeah, they have a new bearded transgender spokesperson.
Lovely.
Bearded. With putting, and there's a commercial of them putting lipstick on. We have lost our mind. We've lost our mind, everybody. We've absolutely lost our mind. I have used leather and quilts and sewing through leather tags on jeans just with my treadle machine and a heavy needle. Yeah. Let me see. Great storm warning. So there must be a storm warning somewhere, or maybe I'm missing it. Yeah, you need to, Skanks Girl. I'm telling you, get a hold of them when they're on here. Or like I said, email me and I'll, wait, what happened here?
Oh, it's because you tried to sign in and you did it twice. So now you have to go through a whole.
Where's a sports stadium? This is ridiculous, everybody. Ridiculous. I'm just not going to do that. How's that? Okay. Let me see. Riley Regenerative Landscape says, might have come on late on the conversation, but jumped in when I shouldn't, not sure what diaphragm is. I don't know what they're talking about, so I don't have any idea. There's something up here further.
I don't know. He said diaphragm at.
I don't know. I'll post if they reply again in there somewhere. Let me see here. I hide all my facial flaws with a beard, so it might be a good strategic move by Maybelline. Dude, I couldn't believe seeing it. I'm like, what? What? I only make up. The only makeup I wear is my homemade mascara. Glad I do not need those silly makeup companies. Yeah, you guys, anybody who likes that kind of stuff, you know, making their own stuff, Rain Country is a fabulous channel that does lots of videos on stuff like that. If you want to learn how to make homemade mascara, yeah.
Almost homemade anything.
Well, not almost.
That.
Yeah, that's a great channel that has lots of that good stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tambra, she's going to shut the chickens up. Good night. There was a YouTuber named Wayne something or other who was a makeup artist who showed products and methods on himself. His skin was fabulous. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yale County, Arkansas is under severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, well, you be safe.
Oh.
Be safe, be safe, be safe. Yeah. Yeah, Johnny says hard pass on the makeup. I don't know, Johnny. I think you look good in some makeup. We got to be talking.
I knew a guy once that was he identified as a guy, but he wore makeup and not like colorful makeup, but he wore foundation because.
Rickster, what do you mean you're waiting on my contact info email? You and B have emailed. How have you contacted Rickster?
From the email that he's contacted me.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're waiting for. You and B have talked 10 times on email.
I'm waiting on your contact info. Your contact info.
Contact info email. I don't understand. I'm slow tonight, Rickster. Help a brother out.
They were talking about diaphragm pumps.
Okay.
Is there a pump that's a diaphragm pump?
Oh, sure. I don't know if this will let me in or not. I don't just remember what my password is to this site.
That's so weird because the computer remembers it for you.
No, I got a little bit further. I'm going to try to pull that pump up if I
No.
can. Oh, now they want the other one. You get them all?
I don't know.
Nope.
They're tricky.
All right. I'm going to keep going on. Let me see here what we got
Johnny,
here.
some eyeliner. Bring out them eyes.
Well, if Kelly Iron says, time to learn how to make my own mascara. Yeah, go to Rain Country.
Yes.
Rain Country is a great place for stuff like that, guys. If you like that homemade with just stuff, B watches all of Heidi's videos, 100% of them. I come in all the time, and then she's got one going on in the background while she's in the kitchen or whatever.
I need to watch them when I can take notes, because that's I'm all, when I watch them, I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, and then I have to go back. Like that pie that I made. How many times did I watch that video and I still didn't make it right?
You talking about the peppermint pie?
The peppermint pie.
Yeah, that wasn't that good anyway.
I tried and I tried once, and then I tried twice, and then it just.
Yep. Oh, Rickster says, where can you email Rickster our address?
Yeah.
Please. Okay, she'll take a note, Rickster, and she'll email you.
Yeah.
What Rick's talking about is
I apparently have your email address wrong, because I have.
Yeah. We've had a handful of people donate to the community building. What we're going to do is anybody that's donated to the community building, we're going to put a plaque on the wall. And so what I'm hoping is to cover the entire wall, all four sides, with lots of wooden plaques that say things like, Grumpy Acres, and say things, like just all of the, I don't want to call anybody out, but just all of the stuff that's gone on, and just fill it full of lots of community. I think that'd be pretty cool. And that's what he's referring to. Oh, look at there. Okay. So Rain Country put a link in there for the mascara recipe. I'm going to leave this up here just for a minute. In fact, what I'll do, guys.
Pin it.
Yeah. Okay. So well, let me do that. Let me see here. Well, I pinned it. I don't know if that will pin it to the top or not, but I started at least.
Oh, start it. Because
you're
on.
Faith K says, we were just under a warning. I literally watched the radar cell today disintegrate a half mile from our house, from yellow to nothing. If I give $5, will you put a plank that says Super Faith? If you donate to the community building, I'll put a plaque that says whatever you want. I'm just going to take scrap wood, my hardwoods that I cut in my woods that I make tables and stuff out of. I'm just going to route our names in it, and we're going to screw them to the wall. So you don't feel bad, B. I always have to go back to the video several times, rewind and watch again. Let's go back up there. I'm going to put that back up there. So if someone's trying to get that.
If it's starred, I wonder if you can see it in the replay too.
Yeah. So when they watch this will come up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody, Rain Country right here. Here's the YouTube link. But the thing is, I would, if I was you guys, I'd just go to their YouTube channel, because there's just so much information there. They've been doing it for a long, long time.
It's hard for me to find videos. Like if I was looking for that mascara video on Raintree's YouTube channal.
Who?
Did I say Raintree?
You did.
That's
okay. Why I said
Rain Country. Yeah. Okay. So if I wanted that video, can I go to the search? I thought I could go to search and type in Rain Country mascara, and it will come up.
Watch.
Okay, you're on YouTube.
Right. Watch. Okay, so here we go. See how we brought Rain Country up? See that?
So you brought her channel
up.
Yeah,
so this is here's their channel, right? So I bet you if I just search, how do I spell this? Mascara. Oh wait, sorry. Hold on. I gotta go back.
Whoa.
I searched everything. I didn't just search, right?
I didn't know there was a search button down there.
Okay.
Homemade mascara and eyeliner.
Boom. Heidi, I took care of her, just so you know.
I wonder if I can do that. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that there were two different search bars.
Yep. Okay. So Rain Country says you could find any channel's video by simply using the regular YouTube search, but you do have to put the channel name with it. Well, I just showed her, Rain Country, how she could go to your page and search just your page. Because this search down here, babe, is just Rain Country.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense? Yeah, let me see here. The only thing I know about skincare is how to make calluses. Yeah.
Yeah. I got some of them.
Yeah, I relate. Oh my goodness. We're an hour and 44 minutes. We better get rolling, huh? There's a couple of things I want to talk about. Okay, guys, real quick. So I found a couple more pieces of land I thought I would share with you guys if you guys are open to it today. So if it will allow me, I'm going to share you guys real quick. Check this out. And I'm getting all high tech, huh? I wonder if I can make
It's
that.
so tiny.
Look at that.
It's still tiny.
No, it's not bad. Okay, so this is a piece of land that just came up. As you can see, it's been on the market for 2 days. It's 10.48 acres. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these guys, but it's listed with Coldwell Banker. If you look at the address, 110th Road in Hoyt, Kansas, this would put you right around some other community members here. But again, it's just 10 acres. And it looks to me as I go through this picture, it's this long, thin piece. See this right here?
Is there a house on it?
No, this is bare land. This is expensive in my opinion.
And it's long and thin.
Long and thin, and it looks to be about half woods. Yep. So that's,
and there's a house on both sides.
Yeah, there's because that's a whole nother lot. That's a whole nother lot, right? So it's just this center lot right here. But I'll flip through some pictures here with you guys real quick. See if anybody likes them. And no, Johnny, we are not eating any squash pie.
No, we've got zucchini.
Yeah, it's going to be zucchini pie now. Okay.
Zucchini
and
bread.
If we go to this one, here's the other one that I want to show you guys. So this one's 76.96 acres. And actually, this one would make you a direct neighbor to one homestead that's in our community. I mean, direct, like bordering neighbor to it. So if we look through the pictures here just real quick, look how pretty that is.
So it's all it's
80 acres. It says it features 52 acres that are active CRP ground, 14 acres of hay ground, and the balance is in timber. So you look like you got 66 acres of either CRP ground or native hay. So you got about 10 acres of woods. Yep. So anyway, this is the agent right here that's listed with. But guys, I have a like-minded.
I don't think they can see yours. Oh yeah, they can.
Yep, I have a like-minded agent if someone's interested, and I'll be happy to share it if anyone's interested. But those are just a couple new ones. Let me see here. Silver Lining said I looked at it, but there were restrictions to building. Oh, okay. Yeah, Johnny says he wants some carrot pie. Or how about some chocolate zucchini cupcakes?
I bet they wouldn't even know that there was zucchini in there. Yeah. If I made chocolate cupcakes. You remember those muffins that had like raisins and carrots and
Yeah, it's probably fun. Let's talk about the Anyone Can Farm experience. Right. So I went this last weekend, which is why we didn't have a live. I got on an airplane and I flew to Upper Michigan. And I flew to a town called Traverse City, which was a great airport. I flew in and there were 3 or 4 gates. That was it.
Is that where you fell down and broke the laptop?
No, that was at Kansas City Airport.
Yeah, he fell down and scratched up his knee and apparently dropped his backpack and busted the...
Yeah. I broke the laptop. So that was great. Anyway, so I flew up there. I stayed at a little Airbnb. I'm going to do a video on it hopefully this next week or the week after when I can get to it. But so anyway, I went up there and go to this place, and it's basically a farm and, just an active homestead. And man, the guy was smart. And if you guys look up the Anyone Can Farm experience, I can probably pull it up here so you guys can see it if you want to. Let me see here.
Is it Anyone Can on YouTube? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, they have it on YouTube. They don't have a big following on YouTube. Most of what they have is like on Instagram and stuff like that. But anyway, it's these guys right here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys real quick here. So this is where I went. Your screen. God, there's so many steps. Which one is it?
What are you looking for? StreamYard.
Okay, so this is where I went right here. So this is their channel. But anyway, so I went up there to speak to them, and till we talked about my actual presentation was about living off grid and why I went off grid and those kind of things. But I think, hey, Brian Jacob from Michigan. Look at that. We were just talking about Michigan. But anyway, so I went up there. The really cool parts of it was, one, it was small. What I mean by small is there wasn't 7,000 people there. There was a few hundred people there or 150 people there, and it was very intimate, lots of workshops. They butchered a pig. They built a cabin while we were up there. Just lots of stuff like that, beekeeping and, just lots of hands-on type classes. But a couple things that I noticed that I thought was just super, super cool was, first thing is, they had their own built-in cafe in the middle of their farm. So when they have events, they have this little cafe you can go in and get a burger at, which was really cool. None of the other events that I go speak at do that. And so that was cool. I also really liked that it was super family oriented. There were so many kids there.
Really?
There was probably more kids there than there was adults.
Were they running around barefoot?
No, I think they all had shoes on, but they were swimming in the pool, and they were Mark, which is the main guy that runs that up there, him and his wife Jill. But Mark was constantly on the Jeep taking kids out on hayrack rides out over his 120 acres worth of land. I learned all kinds of really cool things. The way they process chickens was great. I love going to homesteads that have been functioning for a while. Like, they've been there 19 years. So I really got to watch a lot of, kind of how it went and all of that. Made lots of good friends. There are people here tonight in the live who I met in Michigan, who had been here tonight for the very first time. I also met another really cool couple, which I'll do a video on here coming up. And they traveled up there and they lived in a camper. Now, what was interesting about this camper was it was a cargo camper. So there was no windows. There was one door on the side. Driving down the road, you would not know. But then he pulls up to wherever he's going, and it's like Transformer, and the solar panels slide out and all of this really cool stuff. And then when I went inside, it was super clean, super taken care of, everything folded up, everything folded out of the way. And so anyway, I'm going to introduce them in a video coming up here pretty quick. And again, I think if they're still in here, say something to me, because they'll know who I'm talking about. But that was a really cool experience. What I really liked about the solar system is the tracks they had on it was just super tough.
They made this themselves?
Yeah, I think he made it all himself. Now his wife, super baker, freeze dries food, all this stuff, made all of the baked goods for the festival while we were up there. Oh yeah, right here. Right. So Dave and Sonia in Michigan. So if you see the picture, so Dave, there's the guy that created it, and Sonia's the super baker. But they got a YouTube channel. And Dave, feel free to put your YouTube channel link in here, and I'll post it up here for you. But anyway, I got a video coming out that I'm actually showed the camper. I went in it. So that was really pretty cool. I really enjoyed that a lot. I was super welcomed. I didn't feel like a stranger ever. It seemed like I was always talking to somebody, someone wanted to visit about something. And so, great people up in Michigan. The land was beautiful. It was absolutely God's country. I was joking with B when I was up there that I felt like I was in Sherwood Forest, the whole time that I was up there. So it was just super, super cool up there. Great experience. Again, I would totally, do it again if they asked me to. And yeah, look at those hellos. Yeah, look at that, Kelly. Yep. And so anyway, pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. And again, I don't know if I'll go back or not, but I will definitely stay in touch with Mark. Me and Mark got probably the highlight of my journey is I got to spend a bunch of time with Mark in his Jeep on his back land, talking about community and talking about freedom and talking about our role in it and how we can make it better and how we can bring communities together and those kind of things, which was just absolutely amazing. But what'd you do while I was gone?
I had my friend over.
Yeah. So what'd you get done?
We chit-chatted.
Hey, ACM, what's going on?
I dusted the house.
Actually, ACM, we were just talking about you today. Yep, I was talking with the local mechanic who's buddies with the guy who owned it anyway. We were just talking about you today. All right, what else we got? Oh, big deal. So, and I know they don't care that I say this, so let's talk about American Roots real quick. So, let's talk about them. So American Roots closed on their land today. And so they are official landowners in this beautiful state. And, it's funny I hope they're listening, and I hope they'll do this, but get on their channel. And if you guys go to American Roots Farm, they've been kind of trying to film this whole journey for them from having a ton of debt, living in the city, to this whole process. And I've interviewed them on my channel twice. I just really like them. We just get along super, super good. Oh, here, let me put this up here.
They were gardening in the city, and that's a huge mosquito.
Yeah, and they were doing well in the city. I mean, she gardened as good as anyone that I had seen.
Yeah. They had a nice garden.
They had a nice garden. But anyway, so they made this big entire journey. But it's been super interesting for me to have these conversations with them and listen to them go through these ups and downs, right? These peaks and valleys. You go and you find it in this, and I'll try to make this quick. So they find a piece of land. They think it's the right piece of land. The seller decides they don't want to sell. And so now it's an emotion, right? And then they come back and we find another piece of land, or we find someone else who maybe want to be selling. And this has been going on for several years now. And then they finally, find a piece of land, and the seller wants to sell, and they make an offer, and the seller accepts, and yay. Well, then maybe there's an appraisal issue, right? And you got to kind of go back at it. And then the bank forgets to send in a piece of paperwork, and you're supposed to close on this day. And just the beast, you guys, is super, super real. And I hope that I can get Jess and Joe to come back on now. And since now they've been through this next step, because the truth is, and we talk about this all the time, there's a beast at every corner. And the first beast that we fight, or most people are going to fight, is the debt beast, and trying to get yourself in a position to where you can make a deal, make a difference, and you can go get land, and you can do those things. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. Jess and Joe are remarkable. They were willing to sacrifice everything to be a homesteader. And they did exactly that. The fact of the matter is, everybody, it's in reach. You can absolutely do it. The question is, how bad do you want it? And do you want it more than you want something else?
Right. Then your
right.
own house living, they
right.
lived with mom and dad for a while.
Right.
So
sold their house, moved in with mom and dad, and put away every single penny until they could strike. And now it's theirs. And it's fun. They're going to be out here pretty quick before long. And I'm going to try to get them to snort some dirt, because I think that will be funny.
Don't.
Yeah, well, babe, it's you get to pick up that dirt and it's yours.
Oh my goodness.
What a remarkable thing. Anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, because you got your mom to suck on a Mucinex.
It was so funny. She's like, I really am supposed to suck on this? Anyway. So I want to congratulate American Roots, but not necessarily for the reasons you would think. I mean, I congratulate them on buying land. That's absolutely true. But there's something so much bigger, and that is to have the stomach to fight the beast along the way. Because there is something between your ears that says, I can't, they won't, she won't, this is a sign, it's bad, blah, 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 blah.
Don't do it.
Yep. And you got that beast, and it's always there. And then you've got the beast of the credit system. And then you got the beast of debt. And you've got the beast of, man, I really want to drive that new car. And you've got the beast of trying to keep up with the Joneses. And you got all these beasts. And Jess and Joe, and I know you guys are listening, and Marshall, I know you guys are listening. The beasts have only begun. You're at the beginning, and you're going to continue to fight beasts. I'm telling you, you are. But here's the thing. Congratulations on having enough stomach to get as far as you have, because the entire system is designed for you not to be right where you're at. The entire system. And so I want to congratulate American Roots to what you guys are doing, because it's hard, and not everybody would do what you did to get where you are. And I'm super, super proud of you. I'm proud to call you my friend. And I think you can be an example for many of us, including me, and keep me motivated and keep me on task because of the sacrifices that you guys are willing to make to live the life that you want to live. Yep. And so, look at this.
And it's only just begun.
Yeah. Gene River Homestead says, my dirt's full of crawdads. Yeah. Maybe you don't snort those, right? Mandy says, tags on a roll. I just believe it. I just so believe that this is I'm called to do it. We're called to go figure out a way to live freer, all of us. We're called to build community. And, it's working well here. It's not without its, hiccups, but it's definitely working well.
Yeah.
The more we interact with people who think the same way on being more self-sufficient and fighting the beast, the easier it is to make choices that make us free. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Yeah. American Roots says, thanks, Tag. We appreciate the support from our community. Yep. And it's a long uphill battle, American Roots. I'm telling you, it's a long way from over. And your oh my God, this sucks is going to happen a million times.
She said our community.
Yeah, of course she did. She worded it exactly how she should have. Right? Isn't that awesome?
Yep.
Ours, the key word of that whole statement.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to put Rain Country statement back up, because I think this is absolutely true. And I think together we get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Jess and Joe and American Roots and the stuff they're doing here in our community just makes us stronger. And
the more people you interact with.
Yeah. I was talking to her today, and she was talking about, Tag, we're going to come out there because they're going to do some surveying and some stuff. And if we can help you on the farm, tell us how we can help. And I told her, I said, hey, the way you're going to help, get here. right? Put your efforts into the 30,000 foot view. Understand what the plan is. Let's execute step one of the plan once we understand what the plan is, and get here and be a productive member of the community, driving our county and, where we live to living free.
Right.
And that's the absolute best thing we can do. The rest of it, is just a detail. So Dragonfly Ryan says, is there an American Roots YouTube channel? It is right here. And I'm going to put it up here for you. And what's really cool about them, and Dragonfly, now that I know a little bit of your story.
Is that what that is?
What's that?
What she put there?
Yeah. Now that I know a little bit about you, Dragonfly Ryan, based on just a little bit that I know, I would be super happy to have a conversation with you. Typically my Mondays and Tuesdays are bad, but I can usually do an evening pretty much any time after that. But American Roots would be a good channel for you to follow, because they went from, I'm telling you guys, and American Roots, you guys know I love you. And I'm not bashing what I'm going to say right here, but they went from being a complete slave, completely enslaved by the system, to breaking so many chains. The fronts that they have eliminated along the way are huge. Now there's many, many more, right?
Many.
There are many, many more. You're not there yet. But I mean, just super big ground and super big congratulations.
And that's it. One step closer to that is one step farther away from where you came from. So
that's right.
Every little thing that you can do,
Yep.
Like when she was living in the city, she was learning how to grow. She was learning how to compost. She was learning how to take care of some of those needs. So when she gets out here, they get out here, they won't have to go, how do we grow a tomato?
Yeah.
What does a tomato plant look like?
Because they already know all that.
Right.
Right. They've eliminated that front. But there's a million fronts behind it.
Yes, there is.
Miley wants to know if I'm going to write a book. No, probably not.
He doesn't have time.
Well, I work for a slave driver, a Mongolian slave driver.
We got birds. Come on.
Yeah. Gregory says, you really never own the dirt. You are the best caretaker you can be. Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. I've been beating my head up against a wall trying to figure out how to get around that dynamic, but I have not figured it out yet. American Roots said, yep, 100% slaves. Let me see here. Faith K, what'd you say here? I used to play with them and eat them until my grandpa called them mud bugs and told me that they were the same things I play with. I was 30 until I ate another crawfish.
Mud bugs.
Yep. Super happy. I hate them, but don't want to poison my land. Makes mowing really hard. Yeah, but there's some advantages to having them around too. Think of the protein source you got. We don't have any of them here. I'd love to have some.
She's talking about crawdads.
Crawdads, yeah.
She hates them. She doesn't want them in her yard.
Yeah, because apparently where she lives down, and I think she lives in Arkansas. I can't verify this, but I think she lives in Arkansas. She has a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good comment right here. Don't you own the dirt if you own the land patent? Well, some say, right? But as long as you still have to pay taxes, then you're asking permission, right? What happens if you stop paying taxes? Right, would be my question. I've done some studying into this, Dragonfly Ryan, but I'm a long ways from an expert.
We know people who are trying it.
Yep. I went to the Amish auction. You talked about the garden. Oh, here's some really cool news, guys. And this is not really for anything other than you guys who have followed along on some of the videos. You guys remember I interviewed Callie, and Callie Blackwell was the lady who took on the British medical system because her son had cancer, right? And we made these custom hats for her. Remember? And so these are actually the limited edition Callie hats, because Callie is just a freedom warrior.
This is one too. They're both Callie hats.
Yeah, they're both Callie hats. Anyway, and then once I got done interviewing her, we were done that night and we were sitting on my back deck because she stayed at my house. And so we were chit-chatting. And I said, I would love to interview your son. And if you could talk him into coming on the channel, I'd love to interview him, because of what I knew was his perspective would be very different than his mom's. And if you guys watch both those videos, you'll know that the timeline lined up perfectly. The events happened pretty much. Yeah. They both agreed the events happened the way they happened, but the perspective was so much different. Yeah. And he was so concerned about everyone being okay in his death. And mom was so concerned about, I don't want my son to die. Like, it was just so badass. But anyway, they've been separated for 2.5 years. So she's in the States. He still lives in England. And today he flew and they picked him up at the airport. And she is with her son today after 2.5 years, after all that fight, after all of those things. They are celebrating. I last got a message from him right before I went on the live. And they were in Washington, D.C. touring the the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Monument and all of those things, spending a little bit of quality time together after being apart for 2.5 years. And if you guys could imagine what being apart would be like, those two fought in the trenches for all those years trying to save Darren's life. And, here they are, so just pretty cool. So I just want to let you guys know that they're together. And there's some rumor that they're going to get out here to Kansas. And if they get out here to Kansas, we'll throw a big go deal for them and, have some fun. But Callie is with her son, Darren, for the first time in 2.5 years tonight. And they're out celebrating somewhere in this great country. And pretty cool, huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah. She sent me a video of Jessie was filming while she was waiting at the gate. And Jessie sent
Crying?
me, bawling like a baby. And she's standing there and she's saying, the last 2.5 years have gone by so quick. And yet the last 30 minutes have been torturous.
Yeah.
Waiting at this gate for this boy to show up that she hasn't seen in 2.5 years. And he's filming her and I can see her whole demeanor change. You could like this weight was just piled off of her shoulders. And I could see her pull her hands to her face. And he walks out the gate and it's just a tear fest. And it was just really badass. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and tell you that I was fortunate enough that they shared that experience with me, and it was just super, super cool.
And now you're sharing it with everybody else.
Yeah, it was just absolutely super, super cool. Let me see here. I talked about Maybelline, right?
Yes. With the beard.
Yeah.
I wonder if that makeup will change that beard look. I've never seen a man put makeup on a beard.
Faith says, "Don't make me cry, you butt." Oh, you should.
Oh.
Yeah, they posted that video that they sent me of the airport on her Facebook page. Go to Callie Blackwell, and they posted it on there, and it's just, it's just love.
She's gonna get an overflux of likes.
It's okay. Do it. Go find Callie Blackwell's Facebook page and tell her that Tag sent you. And bombard her. I think it'd be great. And
are you sure it's on her personal page?
Yeah, it's Callie Blackwell. Page? Nope, it's Callie Blackwell. Yep. So anyway, so that was pretty cool. What else do I want to talk? Oh, we want to talk about. We had a debacle. I had to fire somebody. You want to talk about that?
No.
You don't talk about it? All right, I'll talk about it. So I met a guy who was a mason, and so he claimed to do good at putting up rock and block and and all of this kind of stuff. Concrete. And he made me a heck of a deal to build a wall and to do some of these things. And so I paid him, and every time he came, he needed a little more money, So I had paid about 75% of the job, but I only had about 50% of the work done, right? So I'm a little behind the deal. And a week had gone by, and I had sent him a message that says, "Hey, what's the schedule? What's the plan?" And a few days later, what I did is I copy and pasted the exact same message. What's the plan? And a few days later, the exact same message. What's the plan? Because I'm annoying, And so a little bit of time went by, and so I eventually was getting pissy about it. And so I sent him a message and said, "Look, I've paid you. If you don't want this job, refund me my money. I'll go about my way, or I will continue to escalate this." To which then he fired back, "Don't threaten me. Lawyers don't scare me, blah, 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 blah." So anyway, I fired him. And so,
2 months. Didn't show up for 2 months.
Yeah. So apparently I'm going to build this wall myself. But I bet you people.
Well, so that's the thing. Like we have come to the terms that we're going to do it ourselves anyway. So, or you're going to sit and you're going to wait for somebody else to do it.
Yep.
And.
Yep. Rickster says you're fired.
We don't like to sit and wait for 2 months. No talk, no correspondence for 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even necessarily mind the time so much. If he'd have just said, "Hey, look, I'm behind," fine. We'd have gone about our life.
Yeah, no correspondence for 2 months.
But he ignored me the whole time.
So we are back to
doing
it ourselves.
Yep.
And yes, I will help you.
Yep. I'm through my list. What do you got left from your list, Pumpkin?
I'm through my list too.
Are you?
Yeah, because I took some notes on the apple cider vinegar and some other things.
Yep. So here, this is a really good point here. Dragonfly Ryan says, "I prefer to learn it and then do it myself anyway."
Yeah. You
know what? That's true, but we have to. I don't say have to understand, because I'm not suggesting you don't understand. But from running a homestead, Ryan, is a practice in time management. Okay. And more importantly, energy management, because you only have so much of it. And you've got, like right now we have huge gardens that need attention every single day. We have cows that need barns built. We have sheep that need barn built. We have all of these things that going on, right, that you have to manage your way through. So it is cheaper for me to pay a laborer, $12 an hour to stack my firewood than for me to go do it. It's just cheaper because then my time and my energy is allowed to be used in other places, right?
Building a turkey coop.
Now that's homesteading. Now add off-grid living to the top of it. As you guys know, I'm 100% off-grid. That's a whole nother level of energy management because you're the plumber, you're the electrician, you're all of those things. And so sometimes you just take a shot at, hey, this guy could do it. He said he'd do it cheap. One less thing I got to worry about.
He needed the work. That was the thing. Hey, what are you going to do with this thing over here? Or we're going to put rock on it. Hey, I'll put rock on it for you. Well, what are the terms? I'll do it for a good deal.
I'll do it for $500.
I can't even do it for that.
Right. Okay. Deal. It's gonna be $200 in mortar, whatever.
And then after that was like, hey, okay, I did a good job, right? Can I do this other job for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What's that look like? Okay, well, this is what I want to do. This is what, and you're like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Dragonfly Ryan says time constraints are a big problem just on my home, suburban homestead. So I do completely understand. Yeah. To me, it's more about energy constraints, right? Where do I want to invest my energy into? Because the energy that it takes to water the chickens is a different energy than it takes to hump concrete cinder blocks, right? Or to swing an axe, right? And so it's time, but it's also energy, right? And I think you got to kind of consider, a little bit of both of those. But anyway, what's it say? Jetson, you're fired. Friend Jetson fired. Interesting. Even got to go till next week. Gregory, good night to you. You got any parting words? I ask you that every single day. We do this.
Yeah, no.
You don't?
I was just remember the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Foresight.
Yeah. The ripple effect's a big deal. My parting words to you guys is, make the challenge of fighting the beast a game in your own head, because this will help you not experience as many highs and as many lows, and it's kind of make it a little bit of a game. So like, for example, I'll give you an example. When Jess and Joe's paperwork got all fucked up, right? Going to their purchase, when their paperwork got all messed up, it's very easy to get mad at these things. But sometimes what you can do inside of you is you can say, see, they don't want me to do this, and Jess was talking about this with me earlier today about how she knows she's doing right because they clearly don't want this to happen, right? And so you kind of make it a game.
Because it's a chore to get it done.
Because it's a chore. And so you kind of make it a game. Like, is that all you got? Guys, I can't tell you and I'm going to cuss here, so I'm sorry. I can't tell you the hundreds of times in, my normal month that I say to myself, is that all you got, bitch? Like, if that's all you got, you better pack a lunch because I can take a lot more than this. You ain't got nothing. Bring it on. Come on. Is that all you got? Because it's the only way that for me personally, that I can cope with it all the time. Is I have to get kind of that, that stiff upper lip and say, come on, really? The worst you can do is send me a notice in the mail that you're going to find me for less baddies in my yard. Is that really all you got, big dog? Because again, it helps me get through. And so I would encourage you guys, to kind of make it a game. And then the other thing I wanted to point out to you guys tonight, and I think going forward, when you guys go and license your cars, or you guys pay your tax bills, or whatever it is, whatever's going on in your life, let's start asking the powers that be why. Let's start asking a little more about, show me the law that says that. Let's start pressing them politely, with respect, all of those kind of things. So challenge everything, make it a game, hold the line, don't give an inch. Tag out. No, you're B.
Be out.
Be out. Tag out. We'll see you guys. Everybody have a good evening.